Adam 1, 2, Curry, 3, 4. Yep.
Right back.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go pee. All right. Hey, trolls. In the morning to you, trolls. Trolls. Is my troll Tony in the troll room?
Troll.
Huh?
Tony the troll?
Tony the troll. Yes.
Oh.
Let me see. It's my special troll. No, do not see Tony the troll. Oh, well.
Huh.
Okay.
Ready?
Hold on.
Would be in.
Huh? Testing pre-flight systems. Okay, Houston. We have... And... Yeah. I am ready.
Hit it.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, October 1st, 2020. This is your award-winning Gimbo Nation Media Assassination episode 1282.
This is No Agenda.
Celebrating the shit show and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier of Austin, Texas, capital of the drone star state. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I'm freshly back from listening to the Trump-Wallace debates, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
The Trump-Wallace debates? Do tell.
Wasn't that it?
Do tell. Huh? I don't know. It's a piece of history I didn't really witness.
Yeah, well, that was Trump and Chris Wallace debating.
Oh, Chris Wallace. Yes, yes. Well, let's do
What were you thinking?
Well, let's do a quick 13-second around the horn. Let's see what the mainstream media thought of it.
That was a shit show.
The American people lost tonight because that was horrific.
You use some high-minded language. I'm just going to say it like it is. That was a shit show.
That was a hot mess inside a dumpster fire, inside a train wreck, because that was horrific.
Oh, yes, everybody. It was horrific. It was the worst ever. What shall we do, oh, the humanity?
Well, this is a prelude to what they really want to do, and I have a clip.
I know exactly. We probably have the same clip, which is about the microphones, I'll bet.
No, I don't have that clip. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me grab this for you. So, this was such a disgrace, we have to change something, and you know these debates are arranged by the National Debate Committee, or some organization. Some organization that the Women's League of Voters didn't want to have.
1, 2,
here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
5, 6, 7, 8, even.
8 even on the Zephyr. This is your official Zephyr economic report, everybody. We have 8 cars. Economy is stable.
This will be ending soon.
Bitcoin, 10,856.
Oh my God! Woo! Listen to that horn!
Well, here's the prelude to what I caught, which came in this morning.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We're going to begin tonight with breaking news. CBS News has learned the Commission on Presidential Debates plans to issue new rules for the rest of this year's debates after Tuesday night's face-off between President Trump and former Vice President Biden turned into a farce. While the Commission has not formally voted on changes, an informed source tells CBS News members believe they need to act in the coming days after being inundated with complaints about a chaotic debate. Among the possible changes to the rules, cutting off a candidate's microphone if that person person ignores the rules and interrupts another candidate or the moderator.
Oh my, how will they decide who's going to turn off which mic?
Let's get more now on those strict new rules the Debate Commission is considering issuing in the coming days, including cutting off a candidate's microphone. CBS's chief Washington correspondent, Major Garrett, joins us now. And Major, many are demanding this dramatic rule change. Can they do it?
Yeah.
The commission can do it, Nora. It is empowered to set the rules for the debates, and they do that in collaboration with the campaigns. And they did that for the first debate, but those rules were quite obviously flouted. That gives the commission more leverage. Here's another technical point of leverage. The commission controls the audio feed. The networks handle the TV part. So in these negotiations with the campaigns, they can say, if you don't do what we want, we can cut your sound off. That is on the table, whatever the commission decides, Nora. It hopes to inform the country in the coming days.
Now, here's what I'd like to understand about this genius idea, this shut up slave idea, because God forbid we have a debate or a discussion, open discussion. When you have this setting in an auditorium with pretty much no one, 70 people, are they going to turn off the amplification in the room so that you don't hear it there as well? How will a candidate know if his microphone is turned off? How will he know?
Oh, there'd probably be a red light or something.
It's a dumb idea. They should put them in a glass cage, and when they need to shut up, just close the door right away. Soundproof booth.
Well, actually, your idea is not too far from being a decent one. Listen to this, the way I would do it.
Okay.
There are these glass panels you can get that you.
Yes.
They have electrical. They have electrical capabilities. You push the button and they go opaque. You put both candidates in these glass cages.
No.
And then when one of them is talking, the other one, poof, goes opaque, and you can't even see the guy.
No. We're both way off. How stupid are we? There's only one solution.
Yes.
Shock collar.
All right. So we had to look at this because I knew that it wasn't a great debate, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world I've ever seen. And I think these guys were exaggerating, but what are they after? They didn't like Biden's performance because Biden was bringing up the same old points over and over again. And so what you end up with, suddenly you start to hear it when you hear, I have two sub clips, very short versions of what were longer clips with Judy Woodruff on the PBS NewsHour, and listen as she's got two different guests, and she asked guest number one this question. This is Judy, spelled Jydy for some reason, wanting debates to end. One.
Sul Chan, should the debates continue? I mean, is there more the American people can learn from these debates? The commission is saying today it's going to change the rules in some way. What do you think?
So this guy goes on with, well, I don't know. I think it's fine, but, they can change some rules and we'll see what happens. So she didn't get the answer she wanted. So she goes to guest number two.
Through these debates, I mean, for the American people, should there be more debates?
Well, Judy, there is more to be learned.
Yes. We really don't want to debate that. We want to stop the debates. That's what it's all about. Okay.
And that's what they're after. And these are talking points. Judy's right in on him and she's pushing him. She's getting very old, and so she's a little. She can't be subtle anymore, and so she's very aggressive about this. And and in many ways, most of the conversations she had with these two guys, one was in the Washington Post, obviously, and the other one because it's always the Washington Post, and the other one's from the Los Angeles Times. And she was beating around the bush, and she got marching orders to let's end these debates. Because we don't want any more. We don't want Biden out there again. He's either juiced or he's got some issues. He was not performing up to par. And, it's just, I thought that Trump did the worst job he could have possibly done, especially when compared to his Hillary debates, which it always looked like Hillary won and he did. But in this case, I think he must have been doing this, unless he's losing a step, which I believe is possible. Mm-hmm. Because if you remember the Hillary debates, he'd use this trick where she'd be yakking about something like Biden did, and instead of jumping in and arguing with her, he would just go right up to the mic and go, wrong.
Yeah. Well,
wrong.
So the problem with this, in my mind, and I think we should just look at it, it was a bad television show. This was the biggest problem. It wasn't so much about, forget about what was said people at home just did not have a nice viewing experience. And that is because there was lots of stuff that was said. If you break it down, I've watched it now 3 times. If you really break it down, there were some interesting things that were said. There were some truths that were told, some things that were, debatable, but it was just not a good television show. And 2 things about that. The format is wrong. This is not a modern format for a quote-unquote modern presidency. This is just not how it works anymore. And if you say you're going to have 2 minutes to yourself uninterrupted, and by the way, it was Biden who started interrupting during Trump's first 2 minutes. Okay, neither here nor there. And then it's open discussion. In my mind, open discussion does not mean when you're interrupting the other person and you're debating, you're discussing, it's a heated debate. It's not the moderator's job to say, oh, no, stop interrupting him. No, if you and I have an argument, and we've had some, what happens? We'll yell back and forth, or I'll yell, you'll go, and within 30 seconds or a minute,
yes, yeah,
I described I'm yelling, you're going, rah, rah. But then eventually one of us says, okay, I'm listening. What do you have to say? I mean, that was not possible because the moderator was horrible. And the moderator asked questions that I timed it were almost 2 minutes by themselves sometimes. No. This format is done. Did Fox produce this, or is it? I guess it's. No, I guess it's.
No, that commission.
The commission produces it. Shitty
Fox
stage.
Really had nothing to do with
shit
it.
Stage. Now the whole thing was shit stage. I'm sorry.
Where's the flags?
Where's the damn flags? But there was something very interesting about the venue, which was, what was the name of that? The name of that auditorium. Hold on a second. I thought I had it here. It was, here it is. Check this out. This is kind of the funniest part of the whole setup.
On behalf of Cleveland Clinic, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the city of Cleveland. Tonight, you join us in the beautiful Sampson Pavilion of the Health Education Campus at Cleveland Clinic. We share this campus with our partners from Case Western Reserve University. This building is very special to us. It was opened just a year ago as a place for students, medical, nursing, and dental, to begin their professional journeys by learning together as teams. At that time, as we were opening this campus, none of us could have imagined that we would soon face a worldwide pandemic. When it happened, we converted this building into a COVID-19 surge hospital. The space in which
it was known as Hope Hospital. The whole irony of it is there's so little COVID that they converted their emergency hospital into a debate stage.
Yeah,
come on,
very funny.
And that's dumb. That
is this
Trump
guy
a
Dutch guy? Where's this accent from? He's running things.
I don't know.
God,
I have from Jesse Coy Nelson a summary of the entire debate in 35 seconds, which I think will be worth it for some people who didn't want to watch it, or just missed it or whatever. It kind of sums it all up.
And we did a great thing by shutting it down. Wait a minute, Joe. Let me shut you down for a second, Joe, just for 1 second.
I'm not going to answer the question because the question is
Justice radical left.
Will you shut up, man? Folks,
absolutely.
Folks, do you have any idea what this clown's doing?
You get the idea.
Yeah, I have something similar but different.
Sure you do.
Now the. Biden, the other thing I think it freaked the Democrats out is that everyone's talking about civility. Trump never insulted Biden. He didn't call him Sleepy Joe. He didn't call him low energy. He didn't call him a dummy.
No,
all the things.
The only thing he did was he called him out and said, "Ho ho ho! Don't say you're smart around me."
Oh, yeah, I have the smart. Yeah, no, this is right. But this really wasn't quite the same as
it's not. Yeah,
as right. Calling Trump a clown.
Yeah,
and I think that upset the Democrats because they're going on this civility theme. Oh, civility, civility, civility. This is the most uncivil guy. And you got Biden calling him a clown, telling him to shut up. This is the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. It was, you got to kill. You're going to watch a concerted effort to kill Biden going in. Now, the guy from the Los Angeles Times
Whoa. What do you mean to kill Biden going in? What are you talking about?
To kill the debates.
Oh, okay. You said to kill Biden. Like, what?
Oh, I didn't mean that.
Well, I take everything
to kill the debates. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the point is that they're not going to be able to, according to the guy from the LA Times who talked to Kamala Harris, who said Biden loves these debates.
Joe's going to pull the candidate card. Hey, I'm in charge here. I run everything. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Yeah, it's not just Democrats who are disappointed by this. Again, this bad TV show upset a lot of Trump people.
It got Scott Adams, who I wanted to check out on this, was completely beside himself.
With glee or with anger?
Oh, no, he says he's not voting for Trump now.
Well, wait, since we're on Scott Adams, obviously the clear winner of the debate last night was the no agenda debate bingo. It went viral in the Netherlands.
I love that.
It was fantastic. And it was partially thanks to Scott Adams.
There's a really good bingo board from, oh my God, what's the name of John's show there? Adam Curry and John Dvorak's show.
Somebody
tell me in the comments the name of their...
What's that damn show?
The show that he was interviewed on?
Yeah, that show. That damn show. I can't remember the damn show.
So if you look for the No Agenda podcast, or there must be a website or something.
No, we got no website.
Card of things that Biden says, and it's pretty hilarious. And actually it would be fun to literally play it at home. So look for that, the No Agenda bingo card for Biden. Just Google it; it'll probably pop up.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. We got a nice little plug.
Better than nothing.
Good play and good work, John. It was very funny. It was.
I'm going to do a version for the harder version. Is going to be Pence.
Kamala? Yeah, Pence versus Kamala.
And then I'm going to do a second version for the second Biden-Trump thing. So keep this going.
You are the mastermind.
Well, any publicity is good publicity.
Hell yeah.
Let's listen to what Amy Goodman summarized the whole debate. You want to hear the summary of the debate from Democracy Now?
Yes.
Shameless summary. I by the way, I started spelling her name by accident, but I'm going to keep it this way. Goofman.
Hold on. Goofman. Okay, hold on a second. Right, so far we have JYDY Goofman. Okay, this is it's becoming a show title the way it's rolling. Okay, are we ready for the Goofman summary?
Yeah.
President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden met in Cleveland, Ohio, Tuesday for the first of 3 scheduled presidential debates. It was a night filled with chaos and insults as Trump repeatedly mocked and interrupted Biden, who responded by calling Trump a clown and the worst president the nation has ever had. During one exchange, Trump refused to condemn white supremacists after being questioned by debate moderator Chris Wallace of Fox News.
Quiz. Call him. Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and right supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
After Trump said these words, the Proud Boys posted a new version of their logo with Trump's quote, "Stand back and stand by." The Southern Poverty Law Center describes the Proud Boys as a hate group whose leaders regularly spout white nationalist memes and maintain affiliations with known extremists. During Tuesday's debate, President Trump refused to tell his supporters not to engage in violence after the election. Trump also made false or misleading statements about climate change, the coronavirus, pandemic, cases of election fraud, prescription drug prices, manufacturing jobs, Trump's political endorsements, and more. After headlines, we'll air excerpts of the debate and get response from around the country.
Just on the same theme?
Yeah.
Let's go to PBS. You think they're any different with their analysis?
Well, yes. Hold on a second. PBS is brought to you by the Archer Daniel Midlands Company and viewers like you.
Like me?
I'm sorry. Viewers
this
like
is, by the way, get the right one. This is confusing the way I didn't organize these right.
Which one am I
This
doing?
is PBS on Trump racism.
Okay.
It has happened before with President Trump stopping short of clearly denouncing far-right extremist and racist groups and sentiments when prompted. William Brangham has our deeper dive into that exchange from last night's debate.
Repeatedly criticized the vice president.
This is the moment when the president, again, was unwilling to criticize racist groups in America.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do
specifically
that,
do it? Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. Do you want to call him? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
right like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem.
The Proud Boys are part of a loose network of far-right extremist and racist groups in the U.S., many of whom have aligned themselves closely with the president and his policies. Last night, New York Times reporter Mike Baker tweeted that some Proud Boys had modified their logo to include the president's words, "Stand back, stand by," seemingly taking them as their new motto. Leaving the White House today, President Trump said he didn't know who the Proud Boys were, but he urged restraint.
They say they have to stand down, let law enforcement do their work.
But last night was just the latest example of the president's reluctance to clearly rebuke extremist far-right groups. In 2017, after clashes in Charlottesville, Virginia, at a white supremacist protest where a woman was murdered, he said this.
You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Oh my God! So they're going down on record with this, just like Biden, just like like Chris Wallace. They're going to go on record and stick with that.
Yep.
Oh my
shameless assholes! I couldn't.
No, you can't say asshole. That blows the filter, man. Oh boy, we may have to stop tape, everybody. Yep, we do. He blew it out. Oh, you're back? Hello? Oh, no. No. It actually said you've lost connection to Cleveland. What the hell is that about? That's a weird thing. Don't know why it said that. No, you can't say
shameless assholes.
Hello? You see muted? Maybe? Mute? I see you're connected. I think your output may have been too high. And you were on a roll, too. Damn it. Hello? That's odd. See, you're connected. Oh, you there? No. Hello, hello. You sure you're not muted? That's what it looks like. Hey, man. Come on, man. What's going on? Something happened. Shoot but you. No, I don't think we have a podcaster down, but it's not a good situation. Hello. Should I disconnect you, maybe? You think? Okay, Darren, I'll do it. If you think that's it, man, I'll refresh the browser. No problem. It's worth it. Let's see. Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting for you, saw nothing, and then I refreshed the browser upon Darren O'Neill's recommendation, then you came back. So that now we know that can be me too, apparently.
Yeah, you were shown as disconnected.
Arschloch. Okay, you are on a perfect rant, so I'd like you to pick it up with... oh, my
shameless
goodness.
Assholes.
Yeah, that's where we need to pick it up. Go.
These guys know that this is a hoax, that Trump very clearly denounced white supremacists and Nazis.
In that same statement.
Yes. They know it.
Yeah.
They cut it off on purpose. This is shameless promotion for the Democrat Party and covering up Joe Biden, using it as the excuse for his running. He says the whole reason he's running for president was because of the very fine people comment.
And if there's
apparently everybody knows it's a phony comment except for Biden.
and he's been using it from, pretty much from day one. But also, and I didn't clip it. I mean, you can clip forever, and this thing is being clipped to death everywhere. When Chris Wallace said, you got no plan, you have no plan for health care, and you signed a symbolic executive order. What? Executive orders aren't symbolic. And that was about pre-existing conditions.
Right, the pre-existing condition situation.
So, the moderator, I don't understand what the role of the moderator is. Except to play defense.
Promote Joe Biden.
That's what it sure seemed like that. The interruptions, as I said, Biden started interrupting first. But really, I think what people wanted to see at home was at least hear what each side had to say. And it just never got to that point, because whenever someone got to a point, the other side would interrupt or the moderator would interrupt. So it was a bad television show. And I love he was wired. He had an earpiece in. I'm not so sure about that, people. Everyone wants, he may have had a remote controlled insulin pump or some kind
That's
of
what
IV.
He reaches up in there and he fiddles around with something.
Yeah, that's possible, that he got a little jack.
Idea of it being some sort of a drug thing, but you couldn't catch it enough, even though they would cut away at certain times. And when Biden, I noticed this one odd cutaway. Biden had a pen in his right hand and went to his right ear and grabbed his ear for some stupid reason. And they immediately cut away to a 3-shot, and then they cut right to Mike Wallace. That's when Biden could be adjusting the pump.
Well,
but that's nuts.
But for sure, it's possible to have an in-ear hearing aid that is small enough, as long as you don't really get a shot inside the ear canal.
Oh yeah, an earwig. That's what they're called.
An earwig?
Yeah, they go all the way into the canal. You can't even see them, and it's all Wi-Fi.
Well, actually, you need a loop around your neck, which was another wire that apparently could have been a thread, but it couldn't have been a wire. So it's very possible. I don't see what huge benefit it gives.
No, there's
Everyone's
no
like, oh, this guy is like, who gives a crap? I just don't see the benefit. Okay, so someone can go.
I think it would confuse him. Are you nuts?
Yes, and maybe it did.
I don't think he was that confused. I thought he was on his game. That's the best we're ever going to see Biden do.
This is, I thought this was... By the way... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, there was one little racist comment that Biden made. This is from one of the longer clips. This is a short 1-second thing. This is where Biden says something, and then he calls Mike Wallace a Jew.
Now, I've listened to this. I'm not so sure.
Oh, I boosted it. So I'm going to play the straight clip. This is Biden on race calls Jew, and without the boost.
Second point I'd make to you.
No, he's saying to you.
Okay, well, listen to it boosted.
Second point I'd make to you.
You edited that.
I did not.
Really?
I swear I did not.
Second point.
All I did was boost it.
Let me hear.
Second point I'd make to you.
No, I'm pretty sure he's saying to you.
Well, it sounds like he's saying Jew.
If he actually said it, it would be funnier. But I don't think he did.
With regard to...
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to hit that. Yeah, so I just don't. And by the way, that's not racist. That's xenophobic or anti-Semitic. It's different.
It's a lot of...
This is the one, I think the only clip I wanted to highlight. I thought this is how a debate should run. And this was in the... After the 2 minutes, this is in the open discussion. I should have read the rules, I guess. I'm not sure what an open discussion means. I think an open discussion, if someone said, no, that's not true, you can go back. It's a discussion back and forth. But that, for some reason, wasn't good enough. But what was said was interesting.
Why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do with Burisma to deserve $183,000?
None of that is true. Let him answer.
None of that is true.
Oh, really? He didn't get $3.5 million?
Mr. President,
Mr.
President, please.
Totally discredited. Totally discredited. And by the way...
Well, wait, he didn't get $3.5 million, Joe?
Mr. Vice...
He got $3.5 million.
It is not true.
Oh, really?
Mr. President, it's an open discussion, please.
This is what I don't understand. It's an open discussion.
You're right.
It's an open discussion. Please shut up. It's an open discussion.
It's an open discussion. Shut up.
Crazy.
He didn't get $3.5 million, Joe?
Mr. Vice,
he got $3.5 million.
It is not true.
Oh, really?
Mr. President, it's an open discussion.
Now shut up.
Please.
It's a fact.
That's good. Good catch.
You have raised an issue. Let the Vice President answer.
Discredited.
Did Burisma pay him $183,000 a month with no experience in energy?
Mr. President,
my son did nothing wrong at Burisma.
I think he did.
Mr. President, let him answer.
He doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
By who?
And
the media?
By everybody. Well, by the media, by our allies, by the World Bank.
Now he pauses here when he says who it's been discredited by. But did you hear who discredited this?
But by the media,
allies in the World Bank.
The World Bank.
By the World Bank.
The world, and then he stops. The World Bank. What does the World Bank have to do with it? I thought that was
another good catch,
interesting. Now hold on.
By everyone has discredited. Matter of fact, even the people who testified under oath.
Yeah, again, open discussion. There's a whole part. Listen, this is bad moderating skills because here he says. Chris Wall says, shut up, let him answer the question.
He did nothing wrong at Burisma.
I think he did.
Mr. President, let him answer.
So let him answer.
He didn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
By who?
And
the media?
By everybody. Well, by the media, by our allies, by the World Bank.
So he's answered the question.
By everyone has discredited. And matter of fact, even the people who testified under oath.
So let me ask you this, Joe.
No, go ahead, Mister. I'm listening to you.
People under
$3.5 million from Moscow.
He testified under oath in his administration. Said, "I did my job and I did it very well.
Oh,
I did it
I'd
honorably."
like to know who they are.
Well, I'll give you the list of the people.
Anyway, it was that. So that is just. That's not an open discussion, and that needs to be defined or whatever. It just made no sense to me. Made no sense.
That was a good catch. Do you know? Here's my clip to compete with Chris. This is the debate in a nutshell, and this is the debate in a nutshell.
Okay.
The fact is that I've gone and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to even say anything to Putin about the bounty on the heads of American soldiers.
Your son got $3 million.
And by the way, my son...
Wait a minute. Mr. President, your campaign agreed that both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
He never keeps his word.
No, I'm not asking. That was a rhetorical question.
Can you have back 30 seconds?
Yes, you may have.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, thirdly, we're poor. The billionaires have got much more wealthy by a tune of over $300 to $400 billion more just since COVID. You in the home, you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before.
Do you realize how this will sound for people who listen at 1.5 times speed? That's
and serves him right.
It's going to be pretty jarring.
In terms of being more violent. When we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers and being and just being suckers. My son was in Iraq. He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot. And the people left behind there were heroes. Really? And I resent like hell. I'm talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're talking about...
I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out...
Now, this is an open discussion to me. It's a little fast, but this is an open discussion where they're talking and point counterpoint. But Chris Wallace would keep jumping in.
Dishonorably discharged.
That's not true.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
that is simply
and various other places.
True.
He made a fortune.
My son,
and he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people you know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it. And I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions?
He wasn't given tens of millions. That is totally discredited. Totally discredited.
We've already been through this. I think the American people would rather hear about more substantial subjects. Well, you know,
oh, really?
I'm going to make a judgment call here.
$3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow.
That's not true. That report is totally discredited. Mitt Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxpayers' money. That report is written for political reasons.
You know, I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
Do you know what's interesting?
Wallace takes the debate about
the climate change.
Hunter Biden and says he says, I think we should talk about more substantive topics. He doesn't want this to be discussed.
No, that's not what he said. He said the American people want
the
that.
American people,
yes,
right.
The American. Thank you, Chris Wallace.
Yeah, so he speaks for us.
Yeah.
Now, and then he swings at the climate change, which nobody wants to listen to these two guys talk about climate change because neither one of them are climatologists. They don't have any idea. It's just like, who cares? They both know about Hunter Biden and they've looked into it. That's more interesting. It's more factual. It's more substantive. But no, we can't talk about that. We got to switch it to climate change. Chris Wallace was the absolute, yes, you said it earlier, the worst moderator in the history, and they blame Trump. It's Trump's fault.
Yeah. He was See, if you're a moderator, I believe you have to understand how to approach each candidate. And right from the beginning, after maybe 3 minutes, that's when Wallace was just, and I understand because he's like, okay, I got to keep this guy in check. Got to be sure it doesn't interrupt. He just way overcompensated. And I think people should call him on it. 73.1 million people watched, apparently. And that would be Nielsen. It's lower than 2016. That's Nielsen ratings. I don't have the time, the fall off, how long people watched.
I believe they may have watched longer than some people like to. All the Democrats have predicted on the media. Oh, people tuned out. I'd like to see those numbers too, but they have not released them. I think maybe some people actually tuned in to watch it. It was a car wreck. It was
in the 55
kind of fun.
In the 55 and up demo, the numbers were actually a little larger than 2016, 40.5 million. So that gives you an idea. That's the biggest demographic watching.
So there were more old white people watching old white men? Is that what you're saying?
It's probably how it works. Yeah. Would make a lot of sense. Yeah. But, geez, man, everyone, emails, phone calls, text messages, my sister-in-law yesterday. All right, what do you think of the debate? I said, you want to have a show before the show? You want me to tell you what I think now? No, that's not how it works. And also, what a responsibility. I don't know what we thought of it. Here's what I saw. The day after, and I think again this morning, it may have changed, the stock market went up. Is that not an indicator of what the markets think is a winner? And not just a little bit. It went up. It went up. It hit over
28,000. I used to write these reports, and I always mocked the fact that you can just take whatever the stock market does and reverse engineer an excuse for why it went that way.
Sure.
If you wanted to, you could say the following: Biden won the debates, and then the stock market went up. They love Biden.
Right. Okay. Yes. All right. Well, I think that's counterintuitive to what the market always says.
Well, that's the way the analysts always put it. They always reverse engineer it to their liking.
Yeah. Well, of course. And I'm doing the same.
Yeah, that's what you do. So the stock market really shouldn't get into play at all.
How you roll.
Who knows? It could have been some report that came out. We don't know. Here is, I got a couple more of these to get them out of the way.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Here is Trump. I'm sorry, it's not the. Here's that smart moment that you talked about. This is Trump makes a point with smart.
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate.
And if you would have had, let me just tell you something, Joe. If you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
You see,
what I find interesting is when I listened to, and I watched it first, I listened to it the second time, and then the third time I kind of watched it at a distance. A lot more was said than the initial appearance. You know, the initial impact was, oh my God, what happened here? I didn't learn anything. It was, and there's, as you stated in the beginning, it's also possible, and let's just go to Occam's razor, that this is a almost classic world wrestling tactic. You got 3 fights, each 6 rounds, and you're the heel. And the heel comes in and causes chaos, certainly in the first round. And it's possible. I don't know. I agree with you. I think the president had a horrible performance.
Yeah.
But when you listen, there was real substance.
I'll bring another Scott Adams point in.
Mm-hmm. He's not voting for Trump. He's done. He's done.
He has some show, I think. Scott Adams has some show. I don't know when it's on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's on.
It's on Netflix, I think.
No. It's on. Isn't it on? I think you can hear it on the Zoom.
It's on Vine.
Zoom. TikTok, maybe. I don't know what he's on. Yeah.
Can't remember what it is.
And he's a cartoonist. Doesn't he draw South Park? South Park? Is that what he does?
I think so. Okay. Yeah, I think Scott does a cartoon.
Yeah, he is a cartoon. Yes.
So South Park is what it is. Okay, we got that. So Scott said something. One of his analytical points, which I thought was accurate. He says that in this debate, Trump did absolutely nothing to defend himself. He went on the offensive at every moment. When the fine people, this is what really irked him because he's been a big.
That's his problem. That's Scott's problem.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he said when fine people came up, Trump said nothing.
That's not true. No. That's not true. He did say something.
Oh, he mumbled something.
He said, "Read the rest of the quote."
Nobody heard. Yes, but you'd have to go back and listen a couple times to get that. The other, and it was minor. It wasn't really defending yourself.
No, I think there's a reason.
Well, and then on the other thing where he says that the Russians are the bounty thing, he mentioned that, and a couple of other these phony baloney talking points, and Trump said nothing. In fact, I think I have the one where Biden might call him out. Try this. This was on the. When Trump was attacked for being, I think, a racist. He's been attacked for being a racist by everybody. But let's play this clip. This is Biden 1994 crime bill, and this is Trump going after him.
There's about 100,000 of them who are the predators. 100,000 of the kids.
I'm sorry. That's whoop. No, stop.
You blew it. You blew your clip, man.
That was 1994.
Yeah.
When Biden, well, actually, not really. Let's play that clip, and then we can play Biden denying he ever said it.
Oh, there you go.
There's about 100,000 of them who are the predators. 100,000 of the kids you read about in the front page of the newspaper every day. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, a portion of them will become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Take him out.
Pretty mean.
Take him out.
A mean guy. This is Biden versus Trump on race.
Okay.
The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this run for president.
It's supposed to be a dog whistle, not a dog bark, but okay, well done.
Oh, yeah, sure.
President Trump, you have often...
Hey, he said something right there. He said it. Oh, yeah, sure.
Was what directly led you to launch this run for president.
Oh, yeah, sure.
President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for black Americans than any president, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. My question for the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity.
I have a question here, a debate question. I have a point of process and order. If you are asking a question, it's for both of you, but the question includes a whole setup of Trump, here's what you said. Isn't that weird? If you then go to Joe Biden?
Not if you're all in for Joe Biden.
No, but from a debate, from the Chatham House rules. I don't know what the hell. From
Chatham House rules.
How do you do that in a debate? He's saying, Mr. President, you said this, you said this, you said this. This question is for both of you. And then he goes to Biden. Yeah. So not giving Trump an opportunity to defend the statements. I just don't know is that how you typically would do that in debate with a question for both people?
Not that I know of. It's just the way he did it.
Okay, all right.
Country over the next 4 years. Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency.
I'm sorry. Now I have to stop. This is what the moderator should have said. It's coming back to me now. Mr. Trump, you said very fine people. Mr. Biden, you said you ain't black. That would have been a question. That would have been the right question, but no.
To deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years. Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to require equity for everyone, equality for the whole of America. But we've never accomplished it. But we've never walked away from it like he has done. It is true. The reason I got in the race is when those people, close your eyes, remember what those people look like coming out of the fields carrying torches.
Good trick, by the way. That's a very good NLP trick. Close your eyes. Imagine what I'm telling you. Paint the picture.
Their veins bulging, spewing anti-Semitic bile, and accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. A young woman got killed, and they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides. No president has ever said anything like that.
It is who's
now. Second point I'd make to you is that when Floyd was killed, when Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military use tear gas on him so he could walk across to a church and hold up a Bible. And then what happened after that? The bishop of that very church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said all he ever wants to do is divide people, not unite people at all. This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division. This is a man who, in fact, you talk about helping African Americans. 1 in 1,000 African Americans has been killed because of the coronavirus. And if he doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the year, 1 in 500 will have been killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man is a savior of African Americans. This man cares at all. This man's done virtually nothing. Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he talks about. You have to look at what he did. And what he did has been disastrous for the African American community.
So, President Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why should
So Biden had 2.5 minutes there, if we're just going to be assholes about counting.
Americans trust you over your opponent to deal with racism?
He did a crime bill, 1994, where you call them super predators, African Americans, super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Joe.
No, sir, it's his 2 minutes.
Stop this for a second. So there's been, these fact checkers come out, and a lot of them, aren't checking any facts at all, especially the Biden stuff. They won't call this this is interesting, and I don't know if Trump did it on purpose or not. You heard the clip. Biden calls them predators. They should be put down.
Yeah.
And It was
Hillary who said super predators.
Who said super predators trying to top Biden.
Yep.
She's got to, up the ante a little bit. So she's the super So nobody's pointed out that, well, this fact check false. Biden never said super predators. He said predators. They can't bring themselves to do it because they would be pointing out that Biden did say predators.
You're so right.
So they won't even, no, fact check. No, we're not. No, we don't have to fact check that. No. So they just, no. It's unbelievable how the media operates. And I want to play this just before we finish that.
Let's just finish the 20 seconds.
Okay, finish the 20 seconds.
Yeah. So,
President Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why should Americans trust you over your opponent to deal with racism?
You did a crime bill, 1994, where you call them super predators, African Americans, super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Joe.
No, sir, it's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community, you have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990, and that's why, if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time, because they saw what you did.
Can I just give some context to that whole discussion for people who don't actually know what happened in 1994? Because there is just a short, context. There was an article in the Los Angeles Times, and it was a picture of this. I think it was a 12 or 13-year-old kid, ADOS black kid, and a killer. And the kid's nickname was Lil Yummy, and they did an analysis with computer models. And this is all in the New York Times, went back later and said, oh, we really messed up. Kind of like a climate change coronavirus computer model. And that's how they came up with, oh, there's going to be 10,000. It'll be 50,000. The cities will be overrun. And it just never happened. The models were wrong. It was completely off base. But yes, the 94 crime bill put a lot of people in jail.
And listen, here's how CNN handles a fact check. So the CNN Broth comes on, and this is just a prelude to then they go into some more details, but I just want you to hear this. This is a CNN fact check.
I want to bring in CNN's fact checker, Daniel Dale, who's been very busy today scrutinizing everything we heard from both candidates. Daniel, first, the big picture. How much was fact? How much was false?
Well, it depended, Wolf, on who we were listening to. I think it's important for us as journalists to say when both sides are not alike. And they were not alike tonight. We had an avalanche of lying from President Trump.
Ooh, an avalanche.
Biden, conversely, made at least a couple false or misleading claims, but honestly, he was largely accurate. There were times during this debate, Wolf, where President Trump's every line, specifically on mail voting, almost every single thing he said during that concluding section of the debate was inaccurate. And the other thing that stood out to me, Wolf, was that these are largely false claims the president has made before. These weren't one-time slips or gaffes or errors. These have been fact-checked, and he keeps saying them, and they're still wrong.
What's very interesting, AP, Associated Press, released a fact check on Biden, and they came up with 33, believe it or not.
Yes, I saw that.
33s that were incorrect, including the very fine people. But that's just...
Well, at least somebody's on the very
but
fine
no one
people
cares.
thing.
No one cares about that, I don't think.
Well, we do.
Oh, of course we do, but... But can I just...
Yeah?
Just going back to Scott Adams with the very fine people.
Who's Scott Adams?
He has some show. Snapchatter? He's a Snapchatter. I think he's a Snapchatter.
Okay. Makes sense.
I think it's possible, because Joe Biden just hung his hat on this. He said, I ran for president because you said that. So the president has some opportunity possibly in the future to roll out that and say you started your candidacy based on a false premise, and that Scott Adams, because he's hung up on it. He's really hung up on it.
Well, let's give the history of this. Scott, about a year ago, rolled out
who's Scott?
Scott Adams. He's a cartoonist.
Oh,
so about a year ago he rolled out a long deconstruction of this bullcrap fine people thing with the transcripts and with the original recordings and everything, and he made a big fuss about it.
Yeah.
And he's just said, now it could be told everyone. And he actually thought that because he did it, that this was going to end it. It's done for once and for all. And it did nothing. And he has been it's been gnawing at him ever since. And every time it comes up,
I see
it's
the problem.
like slowly I turn, Niagara Falls, slowly I turn, step by step.
I see. No, I see.
So every time fine people comes up in the conversation, Scott goes nuts.
I see what happened. Here's what happened. The master persuader was certain that he had hypnotized millions of people into understanding the errors of their ways. And in fact, not only did his persuasion fail, he actually hypnotized himself in reverse somehow. And now he can't get out of it. Someone needs to slap him in the mirror. Slap him so he can get out of it. Because when he has his wits about him, he's okay.
Yeah, no, this thing has really got his goat. And it's not going anywhere.
That isn't interesting that the best part of the discussion about the debate is Scott Adams.
Scott Adams. All right, now I have maybe one more clip, maybe two. But the last debate clip, it's spelled debate.
Debate, of course.
I thought this was okay.
I mean, his family, we could talk about all families.
My family lost a fortune by coming down and helping us with government.
And that's such a
Mr. President. Every single one of them lost.
This is not about my family or his family. It's about your family, the American people. He doesn't. That's not true. It doesn't want to talk about what you need. You, the American people. It's about you.
Stop it for a second.
That's what we're talking.
This is where he turns to the camera and starts lecturing the public.
that was weird.
Well, he got kudos up the butt from PBS and all the Democrat outlets. Oh, this was great. He turned and talked to the public. Oh, that's fantastic.
Now, it got creepy at a certain point.
I thought it was creepy the whole time he did it. Because this is not the way you're supposed to be debating somebody. You're not supposed to be lecturing the public, but okay.
Yeah. Well, that was, I guess that was kind of a throwback to the way the Democratic Party primaries worked. When you do your final thing into the camera, which really wasn't even in play here, I don't think. But still, he went to it. And he didn't look healthy. Bad makeup. I don't understand. You could have given him a little bit more cover. I've been in television.
Yeah, he could have done better. Now they got those airbrushes for a guy like this. You could give him a nice foundation.
It's a spray.
Bronze him up.
Yeah, it's bronze him up. It's an actual spray paint. They use it all over the place in television studios now, and none of that. I don't know. Maybe he's too brittle. Right.
Maybe they did use it.
Back to the clip.
You, the American people. It's about you. That's what we're talking about.
All right, that's the end of the segment. We're moving on.
He didn't take them.
Well,
Vice President, no.
Can I be honest? It's a very important
question. Try to be honest.
He stood up.
The answer to the question is no.
Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion, if you
that is absolutely not true.
You're going to have
true,
gentlemen. I hate to raise my voice, but it seems to be, why should I be different than the two of you? So here's the deal.
Good point.
Now, Chris Wallace gets no kudos up the butt for this performance.
It was the worst.
He failed. He really failed. That's too bad.
I have just a sub clip from Biden, and I want you to explain what the hell. This is, it's too long to be a ISO, but I did ISO part of it.
Yeah.
But this is best Biden logic.
Is what it is. Well, it is what it is because you are who you are. That's why it is.
Did you know they finally solved the cube of 3 numbers to equal 33, which apparently was they needed a supercomputer to figure it out. And I think Biden might have actually done some of the coding. Because that is some quantum thought right there. Let's hear it again.
What it is.
Wait, I got to hear the whole quantum statement. Please, I'd like this in quantum code, because when you run this, I think we'll save the world.
Is what it is. Well, it is what it is because you are who you are. That's why it is.
What color is my parachute? I mean, that's great.
Jeez.
This is This is just really good.
Now, so I have two sub clips.
Next level stuff.
Debates.
Yeah.
This is what it is, ISO.
Oh, hold on a second. That is good.
Is what it is.
Yeah. Does end the show possibly?
Yeah, that's possibility.
That's not a bad end of show.
No.
If you think about it.
Can I roll one at you?
Sure.
I have this one.
He's Putin's puppy.
Yeah. Putin's puppy was
that a
good.
mistake? Did he mean to say puppet, but it just came out puppy?
I think so, yeah. I really think that he meant to say puppet.
But puppy came out.
He says puppy.
Puppy.
Now the other one is, I got the fine people ISO'd.
Ah, nice.
Very fine people on both sides.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah,
I like that for the end of the show because that's us.
Very fine people on both sides, yes.
That's what we are.
Yes, you're the racist. I'm the Antifa. It's like we're very fine people on both sides. Yeah, very nice. One thing overlooked in this entire process and the circus that it is, and if people are surprised that it's never been like this before, we've really never had
crap. By the way,
well, no, it's not necessarily the debates or the process. It's social media. We really have, in 2015, Trump started to use social media like we actually expected Obama to do in 2008, even though there was, I guess Twitter was just kind of coming up around then. And Obama never did that.
I joined Twitter in 2008.
Yeah, so Obama never really became that. He had once in a while, tweet something, I've got an executive order. So it's what's happening around us. It's the debate. It's the clips. It's what you're seeing online. Go OTG, turn it off, kids. You'll live. It'll be fine. But on the younger kids, and I've started receiving emails from parents who have 5-year-olds. I think there's even one for the donation list later. So I'm not quite sure. I'm just keeping them anonymous. But this note was very telling. This weekend, we went to our cabin in northwestern Wisconsin. My middle son is 5 years old. He picked up a stick, a big one, was walking in the woods and started hitting trees. I mean, really smacking them while yelling, "Get out of here, Joe Biden! And you're not going and you're not going to let me starve, Joe Biden." So imagine your kid is whacking trees and say, "Get out of here, Joe Biden!" So the note continues. My wife was shocked. Yes, I'm semi-vocal about my political views in front of our kids, but nothing crazy. My wife is buttoned up on politics. Turns out he's been seeing Joe Biden ads on YouTube that he can't skip when he watches Draw With Me videos. So Draw With Me is you draw little cute superhero pictures, and that's the only time the kid's ever on the iPad. And he's gotten so mad at Joe Biden for not letting him get to his superheroes. And the food part came from a friend at school. He said, if Trump loses, we're all going to be out of food. So just think about what's happening with our kids. Let's pay a little bit of attention to that and it's not like it's what you say, it's what's around him. Clearly, why is Joe Biden advertising in front of a kids program? That's disgusting, and it backfired.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a good story.
Well, I want more of them because this is happening and kids are responding and saying funny things, but also it's just kind of sad. And I think it's good to let it. Parents, you got to know what you're doing here. You got to be very careful with devices.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I do have. Here's an example of an anti-Biden. I don't have that ad he's talking about, but I do have an anti-Biden ad that. I don't even know if it's Trump that put this out. I think it's done by one of the PACs, decided to do these funny ads. But this is just a bunch of Biden quotes. And
which one is it?
It is called a Trump ad blasting Biden on China.
Ah, gotcha.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. We want to see China rise. It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper. They're not bad folks, but guess what? They're not competition for us. A rising China can be a significant asset for the region and the world, and selfishly for the United States. We want China to grow. What are we worried about?
Did you see the note from one of our nights about China, Xi Jinping, and Jiang Zemin?
Yeah.
I just want to read
the old honcho guy.
Yeah.
That guy's like 97 or something.
But I want to read this because it kind of came in code. In fact, the first line is code. Below, too hot to read as is publicly. So I don't know what that means, but already I'm like, oh, this is something important. And and he says that there's really two gangs: the Xi Jinping gang, which is the current what is it, the chairman, or what exactly is your rank as the?
He's the emperor at this point.
Whatever he is, and the previous emperor guy, chairman, Jiang Zemin, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing him wrong. And the Jiang Zemin is kind of here in the States, and of course, these are hundreds of billions of dollars. These are truly big gangs. Of small amounts of people, but really massive.
He's not here in the States.
Yeah, I think he's got a big presence here in the States. Not him himself, but the gang.
Oh, maybe. That could be.
So, okay, I'm going to read this verbatim, see if we can figure it out. The Xi gang gave the Democrats a hard drive of Trump's, in quotes, ingredients, which is, he says, is material for blackmail. And the deal was, if Biden gets elected, then he's going to track down the virus thing, and Xi would then pay a $1 trillion compensation to the U.S. using Zhang's overseas deposits. So the other guy's money here, I guess he was trying to cut him out altogether. So that's kind of what they gave Trump. But then Zhang got this info. They gave the Republicans 3 hard drives of Hunter Biden ingredients for blackmail, a deal of $4.5 billion upon Biden's election with a $10 million down payment to Biden, I guess. And they have some adult videos featuring Hunter, plus evidence of how the virus was made and dropped. And those 3 hard drives somehow wound up with Giuliani through Trump. So there's apparently all this weird stuff out there, and Nancy Pelosi has copies. So there's stuff out there, according to one of our knights, who we have to take somewhat seriously.
Well, you can take him semi-seriously, but he might as well have just signed it Q.
Is that a Q thing? I don't read Q, so.
No.
Is that a Q? It might be. It's a Q drop.
A Q drop.
It's a Q drop. I don't know. I don't know if it's a Q drop.
Well, whatever it is, it is. It is because
you are who you are.
It is, and you are who you are. What it is.
Okay. There's some other news. Or do you have more on the debate?
I'm looking. I got the front end of a wrap, the PBS, that we can skip because it's just the same old. And no, I do have 2 call-ins after
we can't live without a call-in.
Well, actually, these call-ins were before the debate, but they're still good if you want to hear 2 good call-ins.
Yeah, sure.
This C-SPAN call-in from Georgia is a woman who hates Trump and says he's broke.
Palmetto, Georgia. Renee, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I just want to make this comment. There's a lot of people, Trump supporters, that are calling in on the independent line and the Democratic line. Please pull your disguise off. You are Trump supporters. But let me say this. Donald Trump, I do not know how much that this man and what he has done since he has been in office, what he did before when he was running for president, how much can be shown to the American people before you believe that this man always have been a fraud? Donald Trump is a fraud. He is broke. He was never a billionaire and will never be a billionaire. The man is a fraud. He owed people money. Now you know why he owed people money. He has scammed people out of their money. American people, Donald Trump supporters, please get up out of that cult and start realizing that you are supporting a fraud. I mean, I can't overemphasize it. I cannot. It is ridiculous.
Let's talk to Lawrence, who's calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm a little disappointed that Wanda Sykes would call people out for calling in on the wrong line. It was Wanda Sykes. It was so obvious it was her.
Now, this is all stemming from something we didn't talk about on the show. We're probably not going to discuss in any great detail, but I will say that I have looked over the long report on Trump's $750 tax payment.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No. It's not a tax payment. No. You know what that whole thing is about, don't you?
What?
It's a bombshell.
Breaking news, the bombshell report on President Trump's tax returns.
Breaking news, tax bombshell. The New York Times gets its hands on President Trump's taxes.
We have major breaking news this hour, a bombshell report from the New York Times.
On the eve of the first presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, a bombshell report in the New York Times.
You know, this has been one of the worst months for any president I can ever recall. 3 big bombshells just in the last 3 weeks.
You remember that, there's a super cut that's even better than that one that was done around, I think it was February of 2017, where there was bombshell.
Yeah, we have that one. Yeah.
Yeah, can you find it? Because and this is all old. And there was bombshell and the walls are closing in. Remember that?
We actually have so many. Oh, walls closing in. There's a couple of them. Let's see which one this is.
Giant news story from BuzzFeed News today.
It is one of the most dramatic and potentially devastating developments.
The bombshell reporting. A bombshell. This is a bombshell. In this bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell, and bombshell.
Bombshell. Tonight's bombshell report.
We got to get back to that bombshell.
The biggest bombshell.
BuzzFeed's latest bombshell.
Bombshell.
Damning and damaging stuff.
What may be the most damning allegation yet?
What may be the most damning report.
And it goes on for a while. Then there's this one.
Breaking news. A bombshell.
Today is a turning point. Today was historically bad for President Trump.
Today was a turning point.
Turning point. Yeah. Okay. We can go on forever with these. They never get old.
They're hilarious. Well, let's listen to the second call, which this is the black guy who takes calls. And unfortunately, he gets involved with the calls. He nods his head when the Democrats are calling. He's very biased. But he did not like this guy.
Dave, good morning.
Yes, good morning. From an independent perspective, I view the Times article as malicious gossip for the gullible. Now, as an independent, what I do feel is important is an article by CNS News where the brain surgeon told Biden he has less than 50% chance of being normal, where Biden even stated they take a saw and cut off your head. So the fact that a mentally impaired candidate is not being covered accurately by the media, is anyone really dumb enough to believe that world leaders are going to take it easy on a mentally impaired president?
Let's go to Tom.
But this is a valid point, and of course,
it is.
People are making this. I'm sure Rush Limbaugh. Oh no, he's not on today, so they'll be all over it. Trump was bullying. They're trying not to say it because they know that it kind of backfires if you say he was bullying an old man. Or that's basically what was happening.
That's the same thing with the super predators. They won't discuss it because they don't want to drop the other shoe about it. So you can't do it. No, so that's why they're trying to get out. That's why they want to cancel these debates.
Yes. And then I think Rogan moderating debate is still a possibility.
That would be better than what we had.
Yeah, it sure would be. I have one undecided voter C-SPAN call.
I was looking for Biden last night.
Oh, that's not a call. Who was this? This is not a call. What was this? I don't remember what source this was from, but this was an undecided voter.
Me that he had the strength to physically carry out this job, and I was also looking to hear some of his policies because I am conservative, and unfortunately there was not a lot of substance to the debate last night, and he seemed to be very tired by the middle of it with slurred speech.
And this is another issue I had. Instead of saying, you have no plan, you've done this, you've done that. I don't think there was a single question, except in some kind of weird defensive way, that actually asked either of the candidates really what their vision was. It was stated fact. You're doing this, you're doing that. No one really asked. I don't think.
Yeah. I think we've beaten this guy up enough.
Yeah, we've beaten
Let's face it, Chris Wallace stunk at this.
Yeah.
He was getting more nervous, which really was bothersome to see. I don't like seeing that.
Yeah.
where he was like literally shaking when he went to, because when they started arguing with each other, some sort of thing, his must have had something to do with his dad or his, mommy and daddy fighting kind of thing, where some people just makes him nervous, and he was getting nervous and shaking.
Millennials had to switch off and turn away. It was because they can't handle mommy and daddy fighting. You're so right. You nailed it. So right.
Chris Wallace has these mommy daddy issues, and he just couldn't control it. He was I don't know why they picked him. They thought, well, he's because he works for Fox, but he's not really a Trump guy. He's one of the few guys, not one of the few, but he's one of the many Trump haters at Fox. And in fact, when you looked at some of the headlines after the debates, it was, emphasizing, Fox. Fox would emphasize,
of course,
Trump failed.
Of course. Now, I wonder what the psychology of this is, because it's called, mommy and daddy are fighting. So adult people get triggered if we have an argument on the air, which then it goes on to Twitter. I hate it when mommy and daddy are fighting.
Yes, especially if it's a good one.
Yeah. So is that because people are not accustomed to seeing real life in their media?
Ooh.
Because when mom and dad are fighting, that shit's real. And it can be frightening as a child. Because it's real. So when we're real with each other, come on, man, we're real with each other all the time, and so our disagreements are real. And what you saw last night, which Chris Wallace kept interrupting, was reality. The reality of the differences and the disparities.
Yeah, and two guys who don't like each other.
And people can't handle that because television rarely shows you people who are actually arguing for real. All the stuff you see on cable news.
Acting.
No one ever feels uncomfortable. Ever. It's never uncomfortable mommy-daddy fighting. You won't see a tweet about that. So check yourself, people. Reality is on the podcast. That's where you want to be.
Well, even most podcasts aren't up to par.
Oh, hell yeah. There's kind of a disturbing story, which I delved into a bit because it was so odd to me. And this is about Brad Parscale, Trump's former campaign manager who got, quote unquote, demoted a couple of months ago, which was said was because of the so-called TikTok scam, and more people registered for the first Trump rally during coronavirus than actually showed up, and it was an embarrassing moment.
Yes, because Pascal was scammed by a bunch of fake, I'm coming, bunch of Democrats had decided to kind of slam his inbox with requested invites. And then Pascal was out bragging about, we're going to get so many people, and then nobody showed up because they were all phonies. That's why he got demoted.
I don't think so. Something else, I think, happened. First, let's listen to the report of his takedown.
This police body cam showing the moment Fort Lauderdale PD arrive at the home of senior Trump campaign advisor Brad Parscale, who they find shirtless and sitting on his front step.
I'm your friend.
All right, relax. But even though he doesn't appear to be armed and isn't being aggressive, other officers quickly rush in, tackling him to the ground.
To the ground, man. Jesus, I didn't do anything.
The shocking body slam of the former Trump campaign manager coming after his wife called 911 for help.
He went away, and then I heard a lawsuit.
Telling police Parscale was intoxicated and armed. According to the police report, Candace Parscale told officers her husband had suicidal thoughts over the past few weeks. Police negotiating with him to cooperate.
Okay. All right. Can you do us a favor? Can you walk out with no weapons? Can you come outside with no weapons, please?
Parscale was taken to a nearby hospital for a medical evaluation. The police report saying his wife had several bruises on her arms and scratches on her cheek and forehead. One officer saying she accused her husband of previously hitting her.
Now, I don't like it when they throw that out there without one officer said, either it's in an official report or not. You don't report that. That's a huge accusation if that took place. But I'll just leave that aside because it didn't sound very proven. So the guy is flipping out, and the guns thing. He lives in Florida. Everyone has. I got 5-6 guns here, but anyway, it looked like he was sitting on his front step, and they took him down. So he clearly is in a bad state. He's probably arguing with his wife, and everything else could have happened. Is it all just because of that demotion, because of the TikTok? There's some other things that are starting to float up. And this, actually, I'll take you back to something that he said could be the October surprise.
You know me. I'm not going to sit around and just accept the media's victory. So we've spent the last 3 years building some new technology we have not revealed yet. I'm not going to reveal it here because it's a secret, but next time I see you alone, I'll talk to you about it. But we have a way, we're going to converse with hundreds of millions.
And right there, I think we probably mentioned it. The way he said that, I'll talk to you about it. I'll just make sure that was like a Silicon Valley bullshit pitch. And we caught it like that. You're talking crap now. And that was out of character, I felt, for the way he would describe how, with such precision, how they were using Facebook and other algorithm-based systems to target people. So that smelled bad.
But next time I see you alone, I'll talk to you about it. But we have a way, we're going to converse with 100 million Americans that we need to get out to vote directly, without the media in the middle, without social media in the middle. We have a way to do that that's been unprecedented in American history. And when we turn that engine on, we're going to be able to deliver votes and bring a GOTV, get out the vote effort that's never been seen in American history. Because I understand the media is going to do everything they can, from suppression polls to everything else they can, to try to convince our people not to get out a vote. And there's over 100 million Americans that love this president, that can get out to vote, and we don't need all of them to show up, but if all of them do, we're going to see one of the biggest landslide victories in American history.
So, I don't know if we talked about it at length back on the show, but this is about a company called Funware, P-H-U-N-N-Ware, Funware. And they're a penny stock, they're about 90 cents, and all kinds of weird, like, financing deals, and all of a sudden, the stock, basically the stock was worth $5, but it was under $1. And there was this Brad Parscale floating around it. What happened is Pascal started American Made Media Consultants, AMMC, with Katie Walsh and Mike Shields. And Katie Walsh has an interesting history, but I'm just giving you the names. It looks like $170 million of campaign spending was essentially laundered through multiple firms, and a lot of it wound up with American-made media consultants. It's like an FEC thing. And I think Pascal he's a simple dude named Ben who kind of grew real fast because he could do websites and understood how to do stuff. But DC ate him up. And Katie Walsh got a hold of him, and then it's like, do this, and this is how because of course this is how everyone does it. Everyone is the media consultants. They get a piece of the media buy, they get a percentage of. I mean, they're eating from all sides. Lots of money, big money. And I think that they got caught, and they were doing something not completely honestly and maybe illegally, and that's what happened, and that's still to come out. So I think that's why he's flipping out. That's sad, because I don't think he's a bad guy necessarily.
So he got it. Okay, so it wasn't the other thing. I mean, that may have got him demoted, but he's flipping out because he's got his tit in the ringer.
Well, I think this came down. I think Trump found out about it, and I think he found the timing just might have been whatever it was.
And Trump, a couple of things about Trump we got to always accept. He knows about how to do these scams. He's in New York, Manhattan real estate.
Yes.
The whole thing is a scam. Yes. And you have to know how to play those rules. I mean, he wasn't good enough to do it in Atlantic City. No. Because
he wasn't
those rules are slightly skewed.
Yeah, those a little different. You wind
that's
up dead.
rougher. That's rougher stuff. If you're not, you really have to be a mob boss.
Yeah.
But he knows how to do Manhattan, and he knows a lot of how these are operating, probably, and he doesn't like to have them associated with his campaign.
No, of course not. He fires people immediately for stuff like that. Of course.
Yeah, he fires them for, anything.
For less. So. Yeah, and right on. And we'll see. I'm not going to put it in the book, but something's going to come out about it. And then we have Joe Biden, and Joe Biden went out on his Build Back Better train tour. Can you believe that shit? The Build Back Better train tour. and they had a Build Back Better sign. He's out there. He's announcing it. Jill's out there. And then in the middle of Jill's, I think it was Jill's speech, the Build Back Better sign falls off, just flops down on the ground.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, and she doesn't acknowledge it.
I love the idea of the Build Back Better sign falling off. and that's a moment.
And it was just like with gaffer tape, it was just stuck to the thing. It wasn't attached properly. It was just poorly done. And you could clearly see it's one of those cheap styrofoam, slap a sticker on it deals. And Joe was there, and he got really distracted.
And here comes the train that he tried to make sure didn't continue to run. No, that's the commuter. All right. No, that's what. But folks, look.
Oh my God! Woo! Listen to that horn!
Joe's a foamer with no knowledge. He does.
Oh God!
He gives foaming a bad name.
That was his train, but it's another train, just an express. It went right by.
He gives foamers a bad name. He really does. He's
a foamer for other reasons.
Disgrace to the industry, but just to stay on, we can come right back. It's just I might as well talk about Build Back Better for a second. Everyone is now starting to see it. Boris Johnson, his speeches with Build Back Better right there on screen. And of course, what people are coming up with is, hey, did Boris Johnson steal this from Joe Biden? It's like, oh my God, people, do a Google search, please, before you open your trap. Just go take a look and see how far back this goes, and that it is truly a United Nations globalist New World Order saying, and there's reasons behind it. It's very handy. You can use it if you need to pitch something, if you need money, if you need to pitch your people and let them know that we're gonna take some money from you. Now, the World Health Organization doesn't necessarily pitch people of countries individually, but they are pitching what they want. And this is I think she's the new CEO of the world. I think she's new, Katharina Boehm, and she used the Build Back Better to solicit.
Thank you. I think by now it's clear we will have to live with COVID-19 for a while. And I hope that we use the diagnostic tests that we have available to live better with it and to unleash the power of diagnosis. I also hope that we will build on the opportunities that arise from this crisis through building back better. And, Mike and Peter have said it. I think that entails and includes working on strengthening integrated and digitalized diagnostic and health systems that will enable us to respond better going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So she's pushing for IT systems. If we build back better, I can get a new IT system. That's what I heard.
Maybe. That's a good pitch.
No, it's not a good pitch.
I think you start incorporating everything. Let's build back better with our donations.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage to say in the morning to you, the man who literally put the C in. Come on, man. John C. Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also in the morning, all boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the ships at sea, and all the dames and knights out there.
In the morning to our trolls. Where are we from today, trolls? Hands up. I want to see some locales. This is noagendastream.com, where of course, you can listen to a live stream 24 hours a day of podcasts that are all part of Gitmo Nation. A lot of them are live, and you can sit there in a troll room. Hello, Scandinavia. I see you in Nebraska, Chirac, Indianapolis, East Texas, Durango, Colorado, Tennessee, Minnesota Nuts, Madison, Wisconsin, Baltimore, Corpus Christi, Wales, Neverland there, Mississippi. That's what my flight instructor told me when I was flying over England. He says, if you have an engine failure, whatever you do, never land in Wales.
Take it into a farm.
It's crash land. Into the ditch, not into Wales, whatever you do. I'm just kidding. You Welshies, we love you. Achterhoek. Okay, so we've got a lot of people in there. Oh, I didn't count them. I'm sorry. Let's do a little count. Troll count is 1611, and this is episode 1282 of the best podcasting universe. When you're at noagendastream.com, hit someone up there for an invite to noagendasocial.com, which is our federated social network. No algos, very high signals noise ratio. And the algos, there's nothing to infuriate people with. Things die off. Nifty boys with nasty shoes. Things die off pretty quickly without an algorithm and go back to normal, and it's very peaceful. That's noagendasocial.com. And I'd like to thank, well, we would both like to thank, the artist who brought us the artwork for 1281, the previous show. We titled that Talkin' Loudy. And it was Darren O'Neill for the hat trick. It was the Leslie Nielsen artwork of the day with the Air Force One with a mask over its nose. Well done, well executed, funny. It popped. It kind of had all the elements, and you had written down some very specific notes for our artists who do this in the value for value model. Time, treasure, or it's actually time, talent, or treasure can be exchanged here for value. And we're going to thank some people who brought some donations for us. But artists put in their talents and time to create fantastic artwork. And we want to give them the value of criticizing that whenever we can. Because they like it. They like it. They like hearing honest criticism.
Well, a couple of things. We weren't going to use any pictures of
Pepe the Frog
or Ginsburg.
We already
wasn't going to.
No Pepe the Frog.
No Pepe the Frog. Pepe the Frog is out. We don't use our own images. Some people, newcomers, don't seem to remember. They don't know it. Lines of cocaine are not really going to be something we use.
We did pause at Trump's platinum card, which Tontanale did.
Yeah, the platinum card had its moment.
I think the gold or the platinum on orange was the problem.
Let me go back and look at it.
Yeah. And then right next to that, which is one you liked, which was another Darren submission. Darren was swinging for the fences because he
wanted to get the triple.
I mean, he made 18 pieces of art.
At least.
He had this Rioting for Love, which we liked as a piece, but then I said, hold on a second. You can't have a black man with a Molotov cocktail and rioting for love, because that's literally not who's throwing Molotov cocktails. If there's one thing I've seen, it's not black people throwing Molotov cocktails. So I nixed that one.
No, in fact,
Darren is racist. That's what that is.
Racist. Yes, I liked it because I thought it was good. It had a gothic look to it, and then you pointed this anomaly out.
Yes.
Obviously,
I've
there's
done
nobody.
the work, John. That's why. Nothing
You
gets
did the
by
work,
me.
and the picture was inaccurate because it depicted a black guy when it should have been a white guy,
right?
And on fire, if at best.
Yes,
a white guy on fire. The Trump Platinum card was good, but the background, he needed to do an actual... She. Oh, yeah, it was Tontanale. She should have done her own logos and stuff, and it would have been a better piece.
By the way, people, you can play this game at home by going to noagendaartgenerator.com. And you can just sit there and bitch at the art. It's pretty cool to do.
Yeah, bitch at the art.
You could bitch at art. Another possible title.
It's like yelling at the television. It's very
cathartic.
It's a great release.
It feels so good. NoAgendaArtGenerator.com. In all sincerity, thank you to all artists who submit. A lot of these things show up over at NoAgendaShop.com, completely independent from the show, but they work with artists. They give them a third, the artist, if their art is used, and they collect it, and then for themselves, and they throw money for us. I mean, it's great. It works perfectly. Great products. Love them. Have no other relationship with them, which is just fine with us. And we congratulate Darren O'Neill on his hat trick. It's the second, I believe, first one of 2020, I think. And we're very, very proud. Darren does so much. He'll
correct you in the chat room.
A true, outstanding citizen of Gitmo Nation. And yes, I look at the troll room and all I get is, no, he's racist. He has no hat tricks. He's racist. Okay, that's NoAgendaArtGenerator.com. And we like to celebrate our executive producers and associate executive producers for every episode. An exec you get with a donation of $300 or more, associate $200 up to $300. And of course, we do count dollarettes from the various prison colonies. And we're going to look at our list right now, see who we can thank.
Well, up is our one of our patrons, Sir Onimus of Dogpatch in Lower Slobovia.
Yes, with another coded message, no doubt. I love his message. And can we just say thank you, Sir Anonymous? He is a patron. He is a patron saint.
He's came in with 1547, so that's your code numbers for today.
1547.00 is your code.
Thanks. Thanks. Hold on. Let me get the right glasses here.
Did that LASIK not work to your satisfaction, or is that what it's supposed to be now?
I don't know.
Well, I'm thinking about it.
I don't know, because they can't. Everything's closed. I can't go back to my ophthalmologist for getting some actual glasses.
Well, that's
thanks to all. He says, thanks to you too, and all the producers that make this an outstanding program. I especially enjoy the titles bestowed to those on long-term subscription programs, demonstrating how valuable these programs are for its producers. It is more than a title, it's a commitment to independent thinking. Says, I'm limited to domestic travel. Experiencing the restriction differences between states was, I guess he's in the States, was a great joy and reminder of the strength of our republic. After visiting over half of our United States recently, which is like, okay.
Yeah.
The ranges of restrictions have included requests, technically an edict from a governor, that we isolate in our hotel for 14 days before walking outside to visiting Sturgis, where everything was business as usual.
So he's in New York.
I don't know.
Sounds like
maybe.
Sounds like
yeah. Well, they're stricter, yes.
Yeah.
I did not isolate anywhere and never had any issues going into restaurants or stores if open.
He's a rebel.
Although almost everywhere requested we wear masks, I kept my flip phone off in restrictive states, so I was not identified as a super spreader terrorist. TSA isn't an issue for me on flights, but Homeland Security may get new powers in this environment if they decide extensive domestic travel equates to aiding a foreign agent, namely the Chinese virus. Never underestimate how the deep state will go, how deep the state will go. Electioneering and COVID.
Well, I'm sorry. Wait. Stop. Go back and read that previous line. Never what? Underestimate?
Never underestimate how deep the state will go.
Okay.
And what he's referring to is the potential. I don't know what he does for work.
We don't.
But he says he's visited about 20, 30 states in his last few months for some reason. So he's flying around a lot. So a computer program could pick up on this.
Yes. Isn't that
why
what's supposed
is this guy
to happen?
flying from here to there, to here to there, to here to there, to here to there? And he's noticed that he is flying a lot. And so he thought that Homeland Security may get new powers in this.
Well, I think the name Anonymous of Dog Patch is kind of a red flag.
Well, I don't think he signs I don't think he gets his flight tickets with that name.
All right then.
Electioneering and COVID is everywhere, he continues. So keeping it short so you can do your good work. No jingles, no karma.
Sir Anonymous of Dog Patch in Lower Slobovia, we are so thankful for your regular support. It's a highlight. It is. And I wish I could figure out the code. It's always a different number. Maybe I have to look at all the numbers in sequence or in order. How about that? Maybe it's a sequential thing that we're missing.
I don't know. You're going to have to do something. I've given up.
I'll work on it. Thank you again, Sir Anonymous of Dog Patch, Lower Slobovia, our patron saint.
Next on the list is Tommy Horton, who came in from Havana, Florida, with $1,000. This is a big deal. And sorry about that. I lost my keyboard. Yeah, I know. Doesn't make sense, but it happened. J&A, it's been my pleasure to follow and listen to your show since the beginning. I made a small donation a few years ago, but never followed up. I've decided that I've been a douche by not contributing. I'm dumping some of these crazy streaming services. Well, I dropped the YouTube video, YouTube TV.
You were paying for that?
YouTube TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about it on the show. I recommended it because it has infinite videotaping. It has infinite recording.
Oh.
So you can record everything. You can just record everything. It's pretty nice.
Okay, that's for professional uses. That's very handy. I agree.
But They jacked up the price. They didn't really do that much more. It went from $49 a month, which I could afford kind of, to $67 something. No, I'm not paying it. I don't need to record everything so I can watch everything. I'd just rather soon skip it. I'm dumping some of these crazy streaming services, good for you, and donating the savings to you, which would be substantial. So you can keep educating and entertaining us. I'll be donating $20 a month. Need a de-douching? Thanks for the great work.
Yeah, he actually followed up.
You've been de-douched.
I thought there was more to it. He followed up with another email, which I did forward to the back office. Guess didn't make it in. I feel like such a juvenile producer, he says, as I just realized I forgot to add my night name. Please knight me Sir Chachi, Knight of the Deo. The Deo? D-A-O? Is that Deo? Dao? Deo? Deo. Boy, that was really shit. I would like rosin for...
Call me Chris Wallace.
I would like rosin for dabbing and pure tea for drinking at the round table. I apologize for the late email. Yeah, okay. So let me just put that in. And his night name, Sir Cha Chai, of course, would be Sir Cha Chai, Knight of the Deo. It's a tongue twister. Sir Chung Chung Ching Chong. Okay. All right. On with the next one.
Robert Blankshane in Naperville.
Oh, crap. That's the one that I... The spreadsheet is messed up today. I'm sorry. Well, because the note I got is for Blankshane, not for Tommy. I just read you Blankshane's note. That's the weirdest thing. Horton's message was in Blankshane's box.
Horton's message was in Blankshane. This is Horton's message?
No, I double-clicked on Tommy Horton, and then somehow it folded down next to Robert Blankshane, so that's why I was messed up. So this is the pay no attention to me. I'm out of control.
Whatever you said, just disregard. Ignore. So we don't know what Tommy Horton's night name is, because that's an Insta-night.
Let me check. Maybe I'm a confused individual.
Well, while you're checking, I'm going to read Robert Blankshane's Naperville, Illinois $500 contribution, which he says, "Thank you for your outstanding product. My donation, though seemingly coming from me, is in fact being financed by my mother."
Nice.
As she has been vying for an executive producership, I guess we have to give this to her, for quite some time. Which I guess would just go, does he name his mother? Or we're just going to, executive producer going to be Robert Blankshane's mother?
That's what Mom. Mom. It's more insulting.
Well, he uses mother. They've been vying for, yeah. Please attribute the producership to, here it is, Mona Blankshane.
Ah, Mona.
The donation amount, however, helps me along to knighthood. Oh, so he's giving her the producership, but he's taking the knighthood, which I have now achieved.
Sounds kind of iffy.
I don't know. Splitting hairs. It's double dipping. Anyway, he's now achieved it. He says, what a wonderful mom to allow me to benefit from her good works. I hit her in the mouth in May, and she has loved the show ever since.
It's kind of like, Mom, I'm going to buy you a cake, but I'm going to eat it. Is that kind of what that was?
Yeah.
I love it.
Mom, you got diabetes, but I'm getting your big chocolate cake. It's going to be delicious. I'll tell you, I'll give you a play-by-play as I bite through it. In classic tit for tat, I would like to give a shout-out to a new product my mother is producing called Pray USA. Pray USA is a quick 5-minute prayer. It's a quick 5-minute prayer session focused around us getting together 5 minutes a day for 35 days to pray for our country and leaders. Amidst all this tumult affecting our country, it seems as though the only place to turn is to God. This is bad when this is true. You have to turn to God in prayer. The podcast is hosted by Pastor Terry Hay, and the first episode is slated to be on October 1st, this very day.
Oh, all right.
Is this October 1st?
Yeah, we're October 1st, man.
Oh, jeez.
So it's a podcast, Pray USA. You can probably find it in good
Under
podcast apps anywhere. Yes.
Now he does two more things.
Mm-hmm.
He says, there are 2 douchebags that I know of in my life, and let it be known as Noah Estes. Douchebag. Could also be pronounced Estes. And Dominic Person. Douchebag. Adam, did my note to you and Mo sent on August 5th ever reach either of you?
Yes, I believe so.
If not, please pass it along to Mo. Hey, this is not the Mo show.
You didn't.
So I shouldn't be reading.
You didn't have to read it.
I didn't, but I just did. Onward.
All right. Thank you very much.
Do we have any karma or anything for this guy?
No, he didn't ask for anything, as far as I know. He hit up his mom. It's all good.
He's going to be knighted, but what's his knight name? Is it in?
Yeah, no, that I have. That's what I just read in the previous one. And
okay.
So yes, he's going.
All right. The other Tommy Horton is going to be knighted too as Sir Tommy Horton.
That's what I got too.
And you don't need to have all these fancy names. Wait till you get to Baron. John McCabe is next on the list. He's $376 in cash. This came in as cash from Orlando, Florida.
Sweetness.
Well, it makes sense when you read the note, which is kind of a printed out note, but it's like...
Dear John, here's my drug money.
Hello, Adam and John. I was hit in the mouth a couple of days ago.
A newbie.
He's already at $376 and he just got hit in the mouth like a couple of days ago.
Wow.
Now, this is the kind of guy we need.
Yeah.
More of. I hit a couple of days ago and I listened to Adam's great guest interview.
Oh, which one? I'm such a popular
Tom Woods' podcast.
We have a TW. All right.
From back in July. Been listening to past episodes of No Agenda nonstop since then.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Your take is right on, and the old school radio bits are fabulous.
Yeah, I was hitting up the soundboard a lot on that one.
I am tired of the propaganda shite show that passes for news and entertainment. It doesn't take an extra eye to see that much of this world is run by degenerates who want to turn the rest of us into workers, soldiers, and drones. Apparently, drones are the current priority. Trying to deconstruct it all became such a bummer that I opted out following the news. Thank you for hanging in there. It's great to find you guys doing the work.
Wow, that's a good note.
I am skipping past douchebag and jumping right in as executive producer.
Nice.
I'm 60 years old, a factotum, retired Marine, been all over the world, and have been married for 30 years with 3 terrific, independent, productive human resources in their mid-20s.
God bless you.
As you may guess from my contribution, I'm a bit of an analog dinosaur. This domination sampler of bits can be easily divided between the two of you as it had been quarantined for 14 days and sanitized so you stay safe. It also proves that we can trust the U.S. Postal Service. Can't find my way into the troll room, so please send an invite to Mastodon thing. I sent him an invite.
Oh, good. Very good.
So I got one and sent it to him. Hopefully he looks at his email, even though he's an old dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
He's requesting jingles. 3 shut-up slaves, 1 each for workers, soldiers, and drones, plus a karma. 4, my smoking hot wife, Liz, who declares herself a queen. No agenda producers, lockdown families with children, and military and law enforcement in harm's way. May the smiling baby Jesus bless you and keep you.
Hell yeah.
John McCabe in Orlando, Florida.
You know, it's Marines is always guaranteed. Marines, when they hear our show, they're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, the Marines love our show.
Something about that, yeah. All right, well, thank you very much, and welcome.
And Eagle Scouts.
Yeah, Marines and Eagle Scouts, that's right.
Shut up, slave! Shut up, slave! Shut up, slave!
You've got karma.
A triple. Brian, just plain old Brian from Tulsa, Oklahoma, comes in with 333.99. And he writes, I am approaching my 4th year as a listener and not wanting to celebrate 4 years of douchebaggery, so here's your damn money. Thanks to my good friend Bessie, who hit me in the mouth after the 2016 election to keep me from losing my friggin' mind. Seriously, this show has proven to be one of the bright spots in an otherwise miserable time to be alive. That is, if all you listen to is M5M. Personally, I feel blessed without measure, and No Agenda has helped me remain positive in a world that is awash with folks who just want us to hate one another. Fuck off, haters. LOL. Anyways, I've had a few 33s pop up this week, and I was left no choice but to get off my arse and support the amygdala shrinking cause. I'll take some continued jobs in health karma as well as a that's true, because it is true that you are the greatest podcast in the universe. All the best. Future Knight Brian of the Green Country.
It's this kind of note, when I hear that with your delivery, is probably the most fulfilling part of my job. I mean that. When people say, hey, man, you kept me from losing my crap. Yeah. And when you read it, John, it's a beautiful thing. And
I just go with voice.
You do.
That is the guy. It's not me.
Oh, I know.
Hey, channeling.
We're professionals here.
That's true. Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Eric Adams is next, and he's got 333.33 from Middlesex, Vermont. Hi, John and Adam. Thank you both for providing the best podcast in the universe year after year. There's really no other show that compares to what you both have built here over the years. John made a comment earlier this year about there not being many donors in Vermont. I took that as a sign that I needed to step up. And
nice.
Nine months later, and join the roundtable for FEMA Region 1.
Woo! And
pay back some of the value you both have provided me over the years. Sorry for the delay in donating, and here's my first installment, 3.33 with it. A de-douching is in order.
You bet.
You've been de-douched.
Like some health karma and some jobs karma for a small hobby/business would be appreciated with a no Adams Family Obama, since it is October. I want to add I've met some great listeners through the No Agenda socials and found some great products at the No Agenda shop. Thanks again, ITM.
Okay, you know what? No. What? Listen, you're in my house, drinking the booze. No. Shame on you.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Onward with Matthew Anderson, who comes in from West Roxbury, Massachusetts, and he's a first associate executive producer, $250, and he sent in this is good, he actually sent in a typewritten note.
Typewritten? On a Corona? Corona typewriter?
Indeed.
Aha!
But he says, my printer is broken, so I am typing, all one word, on this old Smith Corona. Episode 1279 was exceptional. So good, in fact, that I am compelled to make a donation. Listening to other podcasts has only made me appreciate the No Agenda show even more. The excellent sound quality, the pacing and structure all make it easy and enjoyable listening. It really is a joy to listen to.
Oh, man, this is just...
There is nothing like it anywhere in the world.
So nice.
And I want to thank you for that.
That is very nice. I'm humbled.
And he says, I don't need to read any of it on the air. I'd rather you don't, because typing means I can't edit anything. Just thanks, Matthew. And by the way, Matthew has I'll mention this for his benefit, a dynamite signature.
Oh.
And I don't say that often.
Yeah, I've never heard you say it.
Dynamite signature.
What kind is it? A curly or?
Oh, no, it's just, I should scan it and put it in the newsletter.
Yeah, could you put it on a check?
Yeah, that's what I should do. Anyway, he's got a dynamite. So it's not even serious. It's like a celebrity signature that is just.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to explain. It's like maybe a baseball player kind of signature.
Okay. Carl Yastrzemski.
But not a lousy one. I like it because most baseball players, if you get any of these balls that they write their name on your ball, they sometimes just scribble.
I have a autographed picture of Carl Yastrzemski.
Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah. It's and I envision that because I know what that signature looks like. I envision that it's kind of like that baseball.
I don't know.
Yeah. Nice.
But I would say that autographed picture of Yastrzemski in a good auction at a Boston auction would probably fetch $500.
Really? Nah, it was my mom's. So it's not for sale.
Meanwhile,
back at the ranch.
Back on the list. Corey Getty in New Albany, Indiana, 245. We have a lot of donors today, so people have to get used to this.
Wait a minute. Who is this?
You know who this is? Well, let me read.
Yeah, you read.
He's in need of dating karma, Southern Indiana COVID hypocrisy update. We were asked to leave a grocery store for not wearing a mask.
Oh.
Sheep give me death stares at Walmart for not wearing a mask, but I just smile back while half the cashiers only have them wrapped around their chin.
Yeah.
My frequented smoke-friendly bar has never required a mask, and people roll their eyes now if you wear one. Rebels. The Indiana rebels. People are just wearing masks inside their car. They do that around here too. They're idiots. Whatever happened to civil disobedience? For jingles, can I get JCD you will obey? All phones should be a landline. And Hillary techno experts. It's an odd selection. Plus the dating karma.
So, hold on a second. The techno experts is, I think that's more like an end of show, but I can play a little bit of it. And then I think he means that the Bakelite, all phones should be a landline. Is that what that is?
Yeah, that came in. You used that that was actually the tech grouch.
No, here, listen to it.
Watch it, turn it, leave it, start from now.
The only good phone's a landline, and the phone should be made out of Bakelite.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. That was the one and only tech grouch.
You will obey. You will obey. You will obey.
I have this group of young, techno experts.
Oh, man. Classic techno experts. Woohoo! Do you need jobs karma or health karma?
Dating karma.
Dating karma. One more. Just one more. Hit it with me, tech experts.
You've got karma.
Kind of in the beat, too. In the groove. In the pocket.
Neil Elward in Evanston, Illinois, 244.69. JCD's summary of Jim Jones was perfect.
Yes.
The RE320 is great for 8 hours of Zoom calls per day. So thanks for the tip, Podfather.
Yes.
Please de-douche me.
Yeah, I will.
You've been de-douched.
Well, you'll probably sound a lot better than those other people that are, I don't know what they're using, the Apple mic that's on a string.
I think he sent me an email, Neil did, and he said, my wife has to do a lot of Zoom calls professionally. I don't know if she might have been a teacher. And he said, I like the way you sound. What would you recommend? And then, we went back and forth one or two. It's like, what kind of client? We talked about it. I said, you could try, just give her the RE320. And so apparently she said they're happy with it. Good. Good to know.
Well, good. As long as you get you're going to need a D to A converter, or A to D converter, actually.
Yeah.
For that mic, and there's different brands you can get. They all sound a little different. And the top sounding one, according to a lot of people, is the one I'm using.
The Personas?
The Scarlett.
Oh, the Scarlett, yes. It's very good. Mo uses that too. We actually got it because you had it. Scarlett's
the Scarlett. The problem with the Scarlett, unlike M Audio, and said, I don't know, did people care about inside baseball?
Yeah, I do.
But compared to like the M Audio, for example, the M Audio and some of these other ones are built into Windows. They've done a deal. I don't know. So you just put them on and it's good to go.
Yeah.
The Scarlett needs a driver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so you got to go
because
pick
of
up
USB.
a driver.
Yeah, USB is all messed up. That's the problem.
And so you get the driver. Once you get the driver installed, then the Scarlett's dynamite because it has a much better sound than pretty much anything.
Yeah. All right.
Short of I don't know what. Okay. Onward with the he also wanted a Pelosi Trump jobs karma.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did that wrong, didn't I?
Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
There we go. Now
living on the edge.
Don't want to mess up the jobs karma.
Regan Marshall in Burwood, Victoria, Australia, $234.33. But he gets bumped to executive producer because that's actually 333 Aussie dollars.
Victoria is also known as Danny Stan.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, the premier, his name is Dan.
The premier.
No, it's Premier. Hey, stop. No one in Victoria says Premier. They say Premier. And no Premier. It's Premier.
Premier.
No.
Greetings from the slavery capital, Melbourne, Australia. I'm 14 shows behind at the moment. We'll catch up. And I know you'd rather skip forward, but I can't miss any of them. All the shows have been great.
See, we could be dead by the time she catches up.
If ever. There's been numerous times over the last few months where I felt a need to donate. But in show 1266, Adam played a clip from a doctor that outlined why HQC can't be an on-label treatment for COVID-19, because if it was, they couldn't fast-track a vaccine through the FDA for me. Oh, FDA. For me, that was really an aha moment and worth a donation.
Oh.
Well, where was that donation? I don't remember it.
No, well, hold on a second. Listen.
Oh, that's where she's currently caught up to that.
But check it out. Check it out.
1266.
This is really good because, we're way ahead of Danistan on the events. So she should
stay where you're going. Dino, you're right.
She should stay in step. Don't skip ahead. Do it because you're going to get exactly the reporting that you're seeing at that moment. Because this is a script. So we've been through it. Just keep listening. And get back to us and let us know if what we were talking about that was happening here in the U.S. isn't happening exact the same with you.
Right. So instead of listening to 1282, right now she should be listening to 1267.
That's right. And let us know if that syncs up.
I bet you it does. Anyway, you've been talking about Jesuits.
Ah,
Pope
yes.
Fauci's boss. And I have some experience with them. I used to work with underperforming slaves in Gitmo Down Under. Basically, the whole Australian unemployment system is a scam to funnel free labor and vast sums of money into the churches here.
Allegedly.
This means I'd have saleswomen. I never saw a man once in 5 years from the church, from all the churches coming to my office to compete for a slice of the slave labor / free money pie from the government. The Jesuits were the biggest scammers of any church. It wasn't even close. Most churches would send in some old woman that's volunteering. The Jesuits had proper fast-talking, hard-selling, brown shoe-wearing saleswomen.
Brown shoe. Oh, then you know it's
serious. In terms of dollar amounts, it was about a 10x price increase to do anything with the Jesuits versus a different church. Anyway, long story short, every Jesuit I've ever dealt with, which has appeared to be a colossal scammer, and the Pope being one as well, wouldn't be a surprise to me. Anyway, I could use a de-douching and some getting laid karma. The jobs, too, if it's not too many clips, so it's using jobs and getting laid karma, but getting laid is more important than jobs and the de-douching.
That's okay. We can do it all in one go for you. It's a nice combo.
You've been de-douched.
Jobs, jobs, jobs.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
ZZ Searles, or Surleys, depending. There was actually a professor at Cal with this name, without the S, I believe. $233.33 in Berkeley. And in Berkeley. Hi, John and Adam. Dvorak, what's up from down the street? San Pablo Boulevard, say San Pablo Avenue. All day, every day. LOL. Discovered you guys from Curry's first Rogan appearance. Been listening as a douchette ever since. Thanks for your hard work providing an intelligent take on current events. I don't go the mass since Corona.
Oh.
Doesn't go. I don't know what that means.
It doesn't go to mass.
But I religiously listen to your show because she doesn't go to church. After she's a Catholic, it's a mass. Right. After the debate last night, I decided it's time for me to join the No Agenda production community. Just tweeted you both as an article on suggested contract language on how employers should deal with cancellation culture events in the workplace. I need to see this. I am working on this myself. For jingles, please play the funny Dvorak Nuts compilation. It's a little long.
It's a little
Goat
long,
Scream.
Yeah.
Goat Scream, de-douching, and anything that brings luck to gamblers and speculators. Stock market. Keep doing the work.
So did she say a de-douching in there? Did I miss that?
Yeah, de-douching. Needs a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
Just go for it, John. Tell us your peeve about the fisting method of eating snacks on an airplane.
Okay. I see this on the airplane, and it's very annoying, and I think it will result in fights breaking out because it's just so annoying to watch. Guy takes his bag of peanuts, and he throws a pile of them into his palm of his hand, and then he makes a fist around the nuts. And then he shakes his fist to try to bring a nut to the little hole. Stop. And then he throws a nut in his mouth from his fist. Then he does it again. He shakes and throws and shakes and throws. It is annoying as hell to watch.
You've got karma.
A classic.
Next time ZZ contributes, we'd like to hear the foundations for your name, ZZ.
Yes.
Z-I-Z-I. I'd be interested. Mm-hmm. Zachariah Chubb is next on the list. $233 from Liddell, or Luddle, Kansas. I would pronounce it Liddell. But Kansas, they might pronounce it Luddle. I've been listening since August when taking drives to see my human resource. My best friend Daniel hit me in the mouth in July, but it didn't stick until August. I'd like to call him out as a douchebag. Douchebag. And he's a douchebag for not donating for a long time. The money I'm donating is what's left of my retainer to find out if I'm a father or not.
Oh.
Turns out I am.
Okay.
Thanks for the great listening during my long drives every other weekend. I request a de-douching, Obama, La Cucaracha, and a scary Bo Jiden and goat karma.
You got it.
You've been de-douched.
Don't eat me, Bo Jiden. You're scary. So scary.
Hey, listen. No. You're in my house. Hey, come on, guys. No. Shame on you. Hey. Okay. No. I'm up in the house. Hey. Drinking the booze. No.
You've got karma.
Now, those are the kind of jingles and end of show mixes I liked better than just doing a hot bed under us saying stuff. Just mentioning it to people out there.
Well, this is from experts like Kevin Reeves, and these are people who they may be overboard. I don't know. It's and also I think because no one was doing it about Obama. See, we were doing it. But now, and Trump, everyone's doing some funny songs. So it's kind of not a challenge anymore. I don't know.
Maybe.
It has something to do with that.
No challenge for Elizabeth O'Neill to donate $222.33 from Coos Bay, Oregon. This donation is in honor of my sizzling hot, hardworking man, Jeff Barich, B-A-R-I-C-H, B-A-R-I-C-H, 36th birthday on the 4th. I believe he's on the list. Mm-hmm. Love you, babe. He's wanted to donate for a while, but unable to do it because he can't start a new business because they won't let you do anything, especially in Oregon.
Yes.
Thanks for all you guys do, she says.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give them a karma.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got karma.
Paul Gabrielson in Arroyo Grande, California, $222. I'm finally able to ask for an invitation to the roundtable. I apologize for how long this has taken. I've been listening since your first episodes, following John from Cranky Geeks and Twit. You're the only sanity to the ever-changing and fragmented news cycle. Thank you for your courage and all the hours of unbiased and amygdala-shrinking commentary. I've always had a healthy dose of skepticism of the news authority, and it is reassuring that someone out there thinks and feels the same about the news and the world as I do. What would we do without you? Please knight me as Slovello of the Central Coast, Slovello, to celebrate my birthday on 10/3. You got on that list, too.
Yeah,
and if I can ask for a Pelosi jobs karma for my wife, who just started a new job this week, after a COVID layoff.
Oh, boy.
She would kill me if you did the Trump jobs. Don't do Trump.
Don't do Trump jobs.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the jingles. You'd love to hear mac and cheese, to the climate gate, and karma to all.
I think we can do that.
You slaves can get used to mac and cheese. Cheap macaroni and cheap cheddar melted together.
Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. Hey, everybody.
To the gate, to the gate, to the climate gate.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
All right, that's tight.
So Vinny here has written a note so long that you're going to have to read it.
Thanks, Vinny. What does Vinny say? I'm a long-time listener back...
Vinny, give his name. Vinny
It's
Padula.
Vinny Padula from Brooklyn.
Hey.
Brooklyn! No, sleep till... I'm a long-time listener back from the DSC days, and John from Twit and Cranky Geek days. I know. Of course I know who Vinny is. I'm visually impaired and friends with two other blinks that you may remember. Oh, yes. I think it's these guys that I always said, you get out of here, you gooky eyes. And they think it's funny. Slough Halliton and Kevin Reeves. Now, we were just talking about Kevin Reeves. Just played a Kevin Reeves thing. How about that? Well, I hope this note... That's cosmic somehow. That's very...
random number.
Could be. Well, okay. Well, I hope this note and clips make it for tomorrow's show because it's both cute and relevant with the current political climate. I included a short note of my PayPal donation, but I know how they sometimes get cut off. I donated $200 in celebration of Ileana's second birthday and, of course, support of the show. Last Monday, we were out picking apples. It's another kid story. Last Monday, we were out picking apples. I love this. With my family, which includes my wife and 5 kids. As we were taking a picture, my oldest daughter, Gabriella, was trying to get me smile by telling me to think of Sleepy Joe. She is always on me for not smiling naturally. Later that night, we were enjoying some of the apples we brought back when my youngest daughter, Ileana, started chanting, Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Joe. As soon as I heard this, I quickly recorded it with my iPhone, and Gabriella responded by saying that I should send the clip of Ileana to No Agenda. Yep, all my kids tease me about being an NA fanboy, but I think they're starting to listen to the shows as well while they are played in the background. They all love the clips and laugh at the No Agenda memes with me. Now to get my wife on board with the show milieu. Oh my goodness. It's like 5 kids who are all No Agenda kids, and him and the wife is not on board yet. Trouble ahead. So if you can add Ileana to the birthday list, yes, she's on it. That would be great. She turned 2 on September 30th, and I zipped up 3 clips of Ileana chanting Sleepy Joe. One's longer. I included 2 ISOs that may be good end-of-show possibilities. Sorry for the long note. I wanted to provide the context for the show, and thanks for all you do in deconstruction and insanity of media onslaught. The show just keeps getting better. Let's have a listen.
Sheepy go, sheepy go, sheepy go, sheepy go, sheepy go.
All right.
Sheepy go.
Let me see.
Sheepy go.
It's very cute, but I don't think it quite matches up to...
Very fine people on both sides.
Yeah. But we do appreciate it. And, of course, we'll be saying happy birthday to Ileana coming up in our second donation show. And thank you very much, Vinny.
And there you have it. Onward with, we only have 2 left. Chad Miller, $200. And he just says, thanks for the reminder to get de-douched.
Well, let's do it.
You've been de-douched.
He actually technically says Fleet. Thanks for the reminder to de-douche. So there's somebody named Fleet.
Fleet hooked him up, no doubt.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks to Fleet. Alex Ulrich in Burnsville, Minnesota. Nuts. 200. And it'll be our last associate executive producer. Hi, John and Adam. As much as I would hate to be considered Minnesota nut, I live in Burnsville, a couple of suburbs east of Shakopee. I think the term is accurate in general. You can count on me as coming from the Joe Rogan experience.
Hey, there's a...
I really appreciate the media decomposition you both do twice a week.
I'll take it.
The media decomposition. The only regret I have is a good show title. Mm-hmm. The only regret I have is learning who Amy Goodman is. I would never have heard her horrible reporting on the news if I had never listened to the No Agenda show, but it's a small price to pay for all the other great content you both provide.
We may have to reconsider how much Amy you're bringing to the show. I mean, it's actually a turnoff
Amy
now.
Goofman. Come on, Amy Goofman.
Amy Goofman.
Forgive me if it's already been thought of, but conspiracy theory with Adam Curry rolls off the tongue nicely. It would be a podcast I would totally check out. Keep up the good work. Huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty busy. I'm pretty busy as is, but I do appreciate the thought. Absolutely. And
that is our associate executive and executive producers.
A long list, but a very good list. And thank you. It compensates for the previous list, which was much shorter. And that's how we kind of go through the roller coaster of podcaster life. But we thank you all for your courage and for producing episode 1282. It is our birthday month coming up on the 26th. So just a reminder about that. 13 years. Many of you have been with us. And thank you not just for your treasure here, the time, talent, and treasure, as you're also producing 24 hours a day. It's phenomenal to see how much great stuff is coming in, and all of that is equally as valuable and appreciated, and that is how our system works. With commercials, ads, any type of corporate money, we could not be saying what we are saying. It would not last very long at all. And for those who donated under 200, we have a second segment coming up for you. And, of course, these people can use those credits. Associate Executive Producer and Executive Producer of the No Agenda Show 1282. Put it anywhere you like. If anyone questions it, we'd be very happy to vouch for you. And thank you. If you'd like to support us for the next program, go to
Dvorak.org/NA.
And be very careful with those 5-year-olds, or at least record them for us.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Keep it going.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
So they had some actual other news going on.
Is there?
Yeah. There is some interesting stuff. This I thought was very interesting. You know, I've always followed the pipelines. I think around, what was that, episode 181 or something, we were talking about Baku. You recall Baku? Azerbaijan, the gas line, the gas pipes, the country of Georgia. It's always a mess. It's always been a mess, and it's usually about oil that's supposed to flow through. But now we have something else flared up that deals with Azerbaijan. And I looked into it because I'm always used to looking at pipeline stuff. And this is the current conflict with Armenia.
New clashes between Armenia and Azerbaijan over the breakaway region of Nagorno-Karabakh. This video, released by the Armenian military, purports to show an attack on Azerbaijani tanks, but Azerbaijan denied any had been destroyed, while releasing footage of its own firepower. Each side is blaming the other for the flare-up and warning of the threat of a larger war. These two former Soviet states went to war in the early 1990s over Nagorno-Karabakh. The region sits in majority Muslim Azerbaijan, but its ethnic Armenian population of Christians rejected rule from the capital, Baku. A ceasefire was agreed in 1994, though never a peace deal. Violence flared again 4 years ago, and in July. But Sunday's clashes could end up being the most dangerous since the war.
Now, so this has always been may I say it, a problematic region. But now we have Erdogan, the president of Turkey, funding Azerbaijan, the Azerbaijanis against Armenia. Of course, we have a very old conflict between Armenia and Turkey. So it's about a certain turf. So I'm trying to find, is there a pipeline being built? Is there something new? And I can't really find anything. I was kind of going to let it go, although it's still there. And then I got this email from one of our producers, and I thought it makes so much sense, and it's something that you may be able to comment on. There's a neighborhood market down the street from my house. An older lady from the Armenian Azari region owns the building and works the register. 3 years ago, I asked her where she's from because of the strange goods she sold, and because of No Agenda, I'm probably the only person in town who has any interest in the region, let alone familiar. 2 months ago, I asked her about the minor border conflicts between Armenia and Azerbaijan in the news. She refers to Azerbaijan as Azer. Essentially, her take was, they are always shooting. It will always be. 2 days ago, I went to buy some strange goods, and I asked about the escalation. And I asked if it was because of the Baku oil fields or pipelines. See, this is a no agenda producer. And she said, no, this is insignificant. It's the grapes. It's the grapes. They want the Armenian grapes. And I go, look, and there's story after story how Armenian wines are kicking with quality and people are loving Armenian wine. Could this be the true source of the conflict, that they want this region for the grapes?
That sounds pretty far-fetched.
I like it, though.
Well, I don't know if which group is this? Azers. What'd she say?
Azerbaijan. Yeah,
Azers.
Well, Azers and the Turks, I guess, because the Turks are funding.
Well, the Turks are drinkers.
Uh-huh.
You got to note that. I mean, when I went to Turkey,
Turks are drinkers.
They're drinkers.
Yeah.
And they have a party section of town that's just dynamite. It's better than the one. There's one in Athens. That's just just blocks and blocks of nightclubs.
It's always 6th Street.
It's one of those kinds of places only maxed out. It's like more extreme than anything I've seen in the United States. Even that includes Rush Street back in the day in Chicago, but or the upper avenues in New York. They're nothing compared to Turkey or Athens. And they're drinkers. And the first thing when I started hanging out, this one guy is a rug salesman, which is everybody in Turkey. He says, we're Muslims who drink. He made it very clear to me. And I said, okay. And then he went to this area. And I wonder if the Azers are drinkers, then it is a possibility there's something to it, at least something to them wanting the wine. I mean,
well, I
don't know anything about.
Here's what I found on Forbes.
Armenian wine. I've never heard of it.
Here's an article from Forbes. Armenian wines, despite a checkered past, look towards a brilliant future. In a land resembling a cross between rural Utah, inland California, and South Pass, Wyoming, with a capital city that is safe, attractive, and progressive, modern Armenian winemakers are a diverse and hardy lot. Representative backgrounds include that of a Berkeley chef, a Milanese fashion guru, an Argentinian infrastructure billionaire, a Moscow MBA graduate, and the family of a Bostonian victim of past Bolshevik repression. And the land, smaller than the country of Belgium or the size of the U.S. state of Delaware and Vermont combined, has in the past 5 years seen a grueling 4-day war as well as a separate Velvet Revolution that toppled the government. This is from 2 years ago, I think, then I was talking about. This period also included a drinking revolution where wine bars in the capital of Yerevan blossomed tenfold and 25 new wineries were founded in just 2018. There's a lot to this Armenian wine. They got some history.
Huh. I'll have to get some of this wine and check it out. I'm sure some of it comes here, now and again.
It must. But, that's a real business.
Well, the winemaking business internationally has blossomed because of
climate change.
Climate change has contributed to the quality of wines in cold areas. But the real contributor is not climate change, but it's these international consultants.
Ah, okay.
And there's a bunch of them. They come out of Australia. They come out of Bordeaux. Bordeaux's got most of them. And they go all over the world, and they're just these guys. And they can say, no, you do this, you don't do that. You do this, you don't do that. I'll be back in a month. Right. And then they give you a bill, and they come back in a month. They say, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you should have done this, you can do this now to fix what you screwed up you made, and they go leave again.
Right.
And they're all over the place, and there's a bunch of them. You could name them. They're very, very noteworthy people. They come out to the Napa Valley, and I think there's a few Napa Valley guys that go places too, but not as many. Anyways, Australia and Bordeaux. So it's possible that they're making a killer product. Who knows? I mean, a lot of it has to do with
Is that
the
a
grapes.
pun? Killer product? Pun intended?
Hey.
Armenia's killer wine. So good,
I know
you'll have to
Slovenia
die.
makes a tremendous quality wine.
All right, I'm not that interested anymore. It was really about
good. You shouldn't be.
As
far as you're concerned, a bottle of Bollinger, you're good to go.
In a box, preferably. All right, I need to do a little COVID stuff just to catch everybody up.
Yes, I wish I had more COVID stuff.
No, I got COVID stuff. Well, let me just close up these nodes. Okay, well, when I say COVID stuff, obviously we're talking about the case-demic. We're talking about masking up. We're talking about a little bit of vaccine stuff, and we also want to be let the hell out. Let's start with something that got zero news, is in case a politician, again, says Trump isn't doing testing or whatever it is who's saying something, please note that he announced this 2 days ago.
Thank you for joining us as we announce a massive and groundbreaking expansion in our testing capability for the China virus. And as you know, it's already setting records like nobody's ever seen before. Last week, we crossed a historic milestone when the United States conducted our 100 millionth test, far more than any other country, and not even close, actually. Second seems to be India, with 1.5 billion people, and the numbers would be probably at least 50 million more tests by us.
So 150 million rapid tests. These are the 15-minute tests, the ones that everyone's been bitching about, and so they're on the way, apparently. So we're good to go. Now, on the testing itself, we still are having some issues with verbiage, the media using infected, sick, where really a positive test doesn't mean any of that. I've been talking with the PCR experts about the cycles and just a confirmation from the Victoria Health Office. Was it the Department of Health and Human Services in Victoria, Australia? Thank you for your recent query regarding the number of amplification cycles currently being undertaken in the PCR test being used in Victoria. My colleagues advises me it is 35 to 40 amplification cycles. And as we know, that is too high because you start picking up stuff that doesn't mean you're necessarily infected at all. And I figured it out now with our anonymous bioinformatician. We are talking about the same thing. The PCR people just want you to know that it is very, very, very accurate, but not precise. And this is the difference. And I had to learn this. Accurate, if you see a target and you're shooting arrows at the target and you kind of hit that, you're accurate. When you shoot all the arrows right in the bullseye and it's splitting one open, then you're precise. So the difference in terminology is important. But the bottom line, and all dentists agree, the PCR test does not tell us enough information about the virus and the infectivity in people, which is, of course, the component that's been leading to shutdowns.
Infectivity?
Infectivity, yeah. It's not even, the spell checker doesn't like that word. It's not a real word, apparently.
Well, they come up with these bogus words constantly.
Bogative. The infectivity.
Well, it's not a negative thing, so
no.
It's not bogative.
No, but it's interesting you say that because it has a little squiggly red underline. The infectivity is lost because the PCR test is not a good reflection of disease progress. It's not a reflection of an active virus. Thus, we still do not have a good picture as to why people get sick, whether asymptomatic people have different disease progression, or when the rise of infection ceases. So it is accurate but not precise. And now there's study after study, and this is at the NIH, and peer-reviewed already, not a pre-flight, pre-thing. Viral loads in COVID-19 infected patients drop along with the death rate. It's no longer as loaded with it doesn't have the full load anymore, which is why you can have this case-demic, which is giving you basically false positives if you're talking about someone being sick or infected. It's not true.
Dead. It's over. This is done. We should just open up the country.
Yeah. So in Ontario, they now went into stage 4 red alert. That is level 4 red alert. And here's what they say. More restrictive measures. So now in Quebec, it's red alert.
Hey, they weren't this restrictive when it was a real problem and that thing was spiking and we had to flatten the curve.
You need to shut up. Oh, no. Oh, no. What curve did you want to flatten?
The original curve.
What was the original curve?
It was it was like the normal curve you get for these diseases. It goes way up, and we had to send mercy ships in from the government, and we had to close down Jacob Javits Center and make it available for cases. They had the debate stage was a place where they had to close it down and put the beds in.
All right. So here's the premier, because it's Canada, of Ontario taking live phone calls during his little Cuomo-esque stand-up show. And a caller calls in with a question about something the premier just said, and the head of health services, which is another one of these fine specimens, John, will answer this question. It's a he, but
I got it.
But the guy's dead.
Mr. Ford says that we know that the second wave is going to be worse than the first wave. Could you tell me in what way it will be worse?
So I think the potential is that it can be worse. Right now, we're on the upward slope of the second wave. I think the Premier, what he's alluding to is the fact that do we know it's the so-called undulating waves that we've seen in some of the modules? How big those are, we have to see.
Wait. Just listen to what he says. And it starts with the undulating waves.
The so-called undulating waves that we've seen in some of the modules, how big those are, we have to see. We always see it better after we have some time to look at the test results. If it is that more tsunami-type wave, it will be far worse than the first wave, as we've seen in other countries. How big this wave is going to be, because already we've seen some test results that are equivalent to what our maximum daily amounts were in the first wave. But as I said before, in that time, the maximum tests we're doing a day around that highest peak was around about 10,000 tests. We're doing 41 to 43,000 at the moment. So it's a different curve, different epidemic. So right now, we're anticipating if it keeps going, we have to assume it could be a lot worse than the first wave, especially if it's the second scenario. That's the more of the tsunami one. But so far, it doesn't seem to be going that way. We like to hope that we can keep on top of this and hear recommendations from myself and others, medical officers around the province, to ask the public to really focus down now. We really have to hunker down and stay at the task to see if we can flatten this curve like we did the first time.
Here he lies. He lies. He says he just explained we had to flatten the curve because everyone was dying in the hospital, and now we have to flatten the same curve. No lie.
Focus down now. We really have to hunker down and stay at the task to see if we can flatten this curve like we did the first time. People have gotten very casual, I think, at the end of summer, early fall, and we've seen that effect. But I think by everybody refocusing, and we have some ideas and suggestions of that, we can turn this one around. So hopefully, as not the Premier's fears, we might be able to flatten it down, and it may not be worse, but we cannot be presumptive on that basis.
Okay. He just said absolutely nothing other than shut up, slave, and stay home and mask up. And did I mention shut up, slave? It's atrocious. And here's what's coming, because it's starting in the UK. You need to have the app. Now, we've all been laughing about the app, but now if you have a test within the NHS, it shows up in your app and you're green or you're red. This is welcome to your future. First, there was some controversy because if you took a test outside of the NHS system, that number was not recognized by the app, so you still had to go back into the NHS to get tested. So you need to have a smartphone with this app. And here's a tweet thread that was out in the social sphere from a pensioner, an older person in the UK who I guess went to maybe a soup kitchen, but some government provided meal. And he tweets the following: "Last night I was denied a meal because I didn't have the government phone app. You may think I'm being overdramatic, but you must now get the point. What else are we soon going to be denied access to unless we have the government phone app? Please, 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 people, wake up." So who's running the app? And who's running this system? The company is known as Serco. Does this ring a bell?
Spell it.
SERCO. British firm. The first time we heard about Serco was when Obama administration paid them $1.2 billion to build the Obamacare website.
Oh, these guys.
These were the $1 billion guys. And the Gates Foundation invested in Serco as they run the UK prisons. Not just the UK prisons. I think they might even run don't they run some of the US prisons as well?
I don't know Serco is running prisons, but
yep.
They may have some relationship.
Serco runs 6 for-profit prisons in the UK, all of which are nearly filled to capacity. This is from the Seattle Times. Britain holds a bigger proportion of inmates in for-profit prisons than any other country except Australia, and the market is dominated by 3 companies, Serco, G4S, and Sodexo. In January, Serco was handed a $1.9 billion. Okay, but the headline of this story is Gates Foundation Trust up stake in UK prison firm. So the people who brought you the coronavirus, I mean the vaccine, and China, whatever, invest in the company that is now forcing you to have a shitty app, otherwise you don't get fed. This is cynical, crazy stuff.
Well, the solution is dude named Ben Hacker.
Yeah.
It's there's workarounds. I mean, if you don't want to really run
easy. No, it's very easy. You just have an overlay on your screen.
have a tear off.
A printed overlay. Yeah. It's just a little red or whatever the dot is, whatever you need, and you can replicate your own barcode or your own QR code or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think it's worth trying.
But this shouldn't be gone this far to begin with.
Of course not.
This is ridiculous.
Now, and that's
a good catch, by the way.
Here's one of we got great producers, man. Here's one of the.
You didn't do it then.
No. What are you talking about?
Nothing. Go on. Keep going.
So here's what just happened. You said great catch. I said one of our producers did it, giving credit where credit is due, and your response to that is, "Oh, you didn't do it then." Nah. What's wrong with you?
Hey.
Okay.
Keep going. I told you to keep going, but no, you go back. Instead of just keep going, you go back to ridicule me with that whiny voice that you do, which is an imitation of my voice, but I don't really sound like that. But you couldn't resist. Because you like to mock me.
Well, yeah.
You're mocking me just the way Chris Wallace said that Trump does.
Yes. In fact, I am. You hit me, I hit you 10 times harder. All right. Speaker's Corner in the UK. We've talked about Speaker's Corner in the UK for many, many years. It is the place where you can go stand and you can say whatever you want. That is where democracy lives. Free speech. That's where free speech lives. And I think on the last trip that the Keeper and I took, we went to London.
Was there any? I've been to Speaker's Corner a million times. There's never anybody there except some socialist.
Well, there was nobody there. And I remember
that's more like it.
But I remember going when I was 15. And I remember my dad taking me, and it was very impressive because there were definitely people standing then. So that's 40 years ago. When we went recently, there was no one there.
No.
However, this past I don't know if it was this past weekend or the past few days, Dr. Heiko Schuning, he is the doctor who invited Robert Kennedy Jr. to Berlin to do the big speech about the lockdown. He was standing there, and he got arrested.
What?
They arrested him from Speaker's Corner for standing there and speaking. They arrested him.
What is wrong with the British public?
They are completely under lock and key. Are you kidding me? You can't do crap in the UK. Anyway, here's Dr. Heiko, who took advantage of the moment to promote the book that he was probably promoting.
That's smart. I mean, he got lucky by getting arrested.
But what they seized, my telephone, my computer, plus a book. Yeah? Coronavirus false alarm from Professor Karina Reis and Professor Suharat Bhakti. They seized it. So you see, yeah? They're afraid. They're afraid of what? They're afraid that we're getting contact, so they seize the mobile phones. They're afraid of the books, because scientifically, all facts are laid down. And the good thing is, this book is not only published in German, it's now published in English. COVID-19 False Alarm. And this book has been the #1 book bestseller, and hopefully this will be the same in Great Britain.
So he's smart. He got that done. He got that out. And I think you're right. Is probably the best thing. But it was weird. There's, inaudible, video footage of him getting hustled and getting arrested. So I'm not quite sure how that worked. That's a weird thing for them to do.
It was dumb. But, so I've still kind of revisit the LibJoes.
Oh.
And, every once in a while there's something about
this.
Are they
talking to you again? Are they talking to you?
Well, they always talk to me, but, it's kind of mostly about basketball. And,
Unite in black, man. Unite in black.
Vote. So, I bring up an article, and I have all these graphs. I put them in the newsletter all the time. It shows the big curve that had to be flattened. Then it went down, and there's a little bump, which may have been this, the second where there's a little bump, and then it's pretty much collapsed, where there's nothing going on. For all practical purposes, somebody gets COVID now and again, but it's like you said just a minute ago, their symptoms aren't the same anymore. No. People aren't dying, and they're not dropping dead. Just somebody died. I mean, I don't want to, this is not the point. And I'll throw this in every so often, and then they come back with all kinds of reasons. To be even more fearful. And I'm convinced these liberals, as we're talking about, they're not insincere.
No, they mean it.
They're not like we'd like to almost imagine, there's bastards, they want to shut down the economy. Screw Trump. No. Screw Trump. This will screw Trump, and let's go for it. No, they're dead serious.
Yeah.
They've convinced themselves.
Yeah.
It's a really sickness.
Well, have you watched...
They want to be holed up.
Have you watched CNN, MSNBC, or read the New York Times or Washington Post recently? There's plenty of stories that run there that give you every single reason to be fearful.
These guys they're shaking in their own boots, and they don't even realize they've been had.
The academics, the professors, the LibJoes, the LibJoes.
Yeah. It's really, I wouldn't say it's depressing. There's something kind of funny about it. I mean, you get kind of a kick out of it. Wow. Because they're so, everything, they're just wringing their hands and worried sick and worried about the third wave or whatever they're worried about. I don't even know.
Well, maybe send this clip to them, because that'll help them.
It won't.
No, I have a...
No, I don't care what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, then listen to it it's only 16 seconds, but I kind of have to tell you what to listen for, because it was a hot mic, off mic recording. This is Governor Wolf and Representative Ullman of Pennsylvania. They were doing some kind of briefing together. They're both the Democratic Party politicians. And Ullman, I think that the governor says, hey, I'm going to take my mask off when I come up to the mic. And then Ullman, the representative, says, I think that's who it is, says, oh yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. It's really, I want to create some political theater. Check it out.
So Wendy, I'm going to take my mask off when I speak.
I will as well. I'm waiting so that we can do a little political theater. So that it's on camera.
Yeah, you can't really hear it, I'm sure. But
the LibJoes would have said, well, yeah, that's what they were doing. They were just
political
so what?
theater.
What's it got to do with me? I'm going to die of COVID.
Well, here is some good news when they take the vaccine. And I'll tell you in advance, John, I didn't find this myself. So just so you know, but I'm going to relay it anyway.
I usually, here's the thing. Usually I'll say a producer sent me. I said right at the beginning. You didn't do that with that other clip. I had to ask her. I said, good find, good catch.
No, you didn't ask me. You complimented me, and I said, no, that was not me. I didn't. Okay. I didn't take
I don't think
credit.
You should be harping on this. Just like Biden here. Go. No, just give us the clip. I don't need all this aggravation.
There's no clip. I'm going to tell you something. You need all this aggravation. You are a piece of work, man. All right.
Come on.
I'm not your dog.
Come.
Sit. The Federal Register, which is where laws and rules, etc., show up, which is monitored very closely by many producers who listen to the show, found out that there will be a COVID vaccine compensation fund for people who get hurt. It is known as the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program. I'm reading from the Section 319F-4, authorizes the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program, CICP, to provide benefits to eligible individuals who sustain a serious physical injury or die, libjos, or die as a direct result of the administration or use of a covered countermeasure, COVID, e.g. a vaccine. Compensation under the CICP for an injury directly caused by a covered countermeasure is based on the requirements set forth in this declaration. The administrative rules for the program and the statute to show direct causation between a covered countermeasure and a serious physical injury. The statute requires compelling, reliable, valid medical and scientific evidence. And these courts exist. These compensation programs already exist. There are hundreds of millions of dollars that get paid out.
That's the point I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask you a question then. They already exist. There's already a giant fund for vaccines. Why do we have a second fund?
No. It's being added to the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program. And I think it's been added, and I'll tell you why I think it's been added, because of the description I just read.
You're adding more money to the multi-billion-dollar fund?
No, they're allowing more people access to it. But they're very clear in saying the statute requires compelling, reliable, valid medical and scientific evidence. There's none of that. There won't be any of that for a COVID vaccine for decades, maybe. You have to go study. Why did you die? Well, we don't really know. Is that compelling? No. Is that reliable? No. Is that valid? No. I think
what if you're given a shot and you drop dead right there?
That's compelling.
Well, is it valid?
My point would be, I think they are setting up to not give people money from the fund. That's what I think.
If that's the case,
that's what I think.
Let's go with that.
That's what I think.
If that's the case, that means there has to be extracted somehow for the benefit of somebody's deep pockets.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
How can you get the money in there and then somehow steal it?
I don't know. And the United Arab Emirates has approved a Chinese-made coronavirus vaccine for emergency use, and I received a forward of an email from an American contractor. Could be military, could be non-military, not sure. And they are required by the UAE to sign up and volunteer first. So they're making
I like that.
They're making their foreigners sign up to volunteer.
You're in this country doing business, making money? Take the shot.
Take the shot, people. That's very good. And as expected, in the Netherlands, looks like the first and second houses of parliament are in agreement. Immediately, the entire country should be wearing masks everywhere, all the time, and this does not preclude social distancing. You still need to stay 1.5 meters away from anybody else. So that's going just fine.
You know what bothers me? This whole mask thing is something of a scam. I got the blue ones, those medical-looking ones.
Yeah, does it say on the packaging this is not a medical device?
I don't know. It doesn't say anything like that. Just a big box of them. And so you wear the mask. It's a blue mask. Everyone's seen them. It's got the ridges. It's got the little piece of metal at the top that you bend and pinch over your nose. That one.
Yes. Yeah,
If you push the thing up against your mouth, push it up against your mouth so so air can't come or go, and try to breathe through it.
It's easy. It's easy to breathe through it.
You get nothing. It's like you choke to death trying to breathe through it. And almost all the air going in and out of your mouth
coming from the side.
Going out the sides and up the top and onto your glasses.
I hate the steaming of the glasses is the worst.
It steams up your glasses. It's just, these things are a scam. What they do, which is what I think is good, is that if you cough or if you sneeze, well, then you don't have a pile of droplets flying every which way. That does stop that. But in terms of the breathing and the ambient viruses that are supposedly all over the place, this doesn't do crap. Push it up against your face and see if you can even breathe through it. You can't.
When you do that, when you push it up against your face, you should lick it. Just for the hell of it.
Well, if I
just for the hell of it.
Maybe put some chocolate in there or something, be kind of cool.
Anthony Fauci's boss, Francis Collins, who is truly the copy to tutti copy of the National Institute of Health, once again won the Templeton Prize from his buddies in the medical community and the medical academia, which
Really?
I think is $1 million again. He gets he won it last year, and this is his second reward. And it comes right on the heels of a statement. Now, he is the Jesuit. Now, and when I say that, it's like Fauci is not a Jesuit, Collins is not a Jesuit, but they did have Jesuit schooling, Jesuit underpinnings, I would say. And
That's good.
And his company, Biologos, which is his nonprofit, Collins's nonprofit, has been trying to connect science with religion. And there's now a statement. We, the Understein, join together as Christians. This is a whole essay. Who uphold the authority of God's word and see science as a tool to understand God's world. We call on all Christians to follow the advice of public health experts and support scientists doing crucial biomedical research on COVID-19. And so it actually it's titled A Christian Statement on Science for Pandemic Times.
This is getting out of control. Now you're making me sick.
Wait for it. God can do miracles of healing, but God also uses doctors and scientists to bring healing. Before Jonas Salk, discovered his vaccine, polio killed $350,000 a year, most of them children. Christians in the biomedical services.
You said dollars. I think that's a great Freudian slip.
Polio killed 350,000 people a year, most of them children. Christians in the biomedical sciences, like Dr. Francis Collins, see their work as continuing the healing ministry of Jesus, Matthew 15:30. Pursuing medical treatment is not a sign of weak faith in God, but a graceful acceptance of God's gifts. So, to summarize, following science is how you will love thy neighbor. Therefore, because of our faith in Jesus Christ, we will wear masks. Wear masks. It's good. Wear masks in indoor public spaces and follow other physical distance rules given by public health officials. 1 Peter 2:13-17. So the Bible is actually telling it. We have books
the
here.
Bible's telling us to wear masks now.
Unless there are underlying health conditions, yes, wearing a mask is uncomfortable and awkward, but the evidence is clear that masks reduce the chance we will transmit the disease to others. Mask rules are not experts taking away our freedom, but an opportunity. Mask rules are not an expert's way of taking away our freedom, but an opportunity to follow Jesus' command to love our neighbors as ourselves. And they have a whole nother passage for get vaccinated. Let's see.
This is by the way,
blasphemous.
I'll say it. This is blasphemy.
I'll just read the vaccinated because they refer to
blasphemy.
They refer to Matthew 25, verses 31-36. Get vaccinated against COVID-19 when a safe and effective vaccine is available and is directed by a physician. A large fraction of the population needs to be vaccinated to develop the herd immunity, which protects the immunocompromised and others who cannot be vaccinated. Vaccination is a provision from God that will prevent disease not only for ourselves, but for the most vulnerable among us. I have a feeling this is pretty distorted.
What? There's gambling going on?
I know. It's a crazy. Isn't that nuts, man?
Wow, that's a good one.
People are pretty insane. It's worth reading.
This is getting carried away. This is really asking too much. This is gonna irk a lot of people. This is like the Mimi gave me this story. She's got she knows a lot of comics, and one of those Jewish comic down in L.A. is talking to me. He was, and he's a Democrat, and he's a Democrat in the Democrat milieu. And the debates just irked him to no end, he says, because when Biden went on and on about the racism, and then he gave the example of these guys with their veins bulging, yelling anti-Semitic stuff. He said, we're not a race. And he said, screw Biden if he thinks that Jews are a race.
Yeah.
You know, this is the worst kind. This is when you think Jews are a race, and you think you can eliminate this race. I mean, he puts a bunch of stuff together that is like very damning about. And he says he's voting for Trump. There's no doubt about it.
Now entering second half of show.
Second half of show time.
This is not my second half of show, so I have to assume that you're on to something that is second half of show-ish.
When is your second half
asteroid,
of show?
the bus that's going to fly back past the country?
No, this is about space wars.
Space wars.
Yes, space wars and space force.
Space wars.
And this follows on the heels of the clip that I played you from Mark Esper, Secretary of Defense, who said, "Hey, you know, we've got China using lasers and directed energy weapons, and which you're very skeptical of." And so I found someone who has something to say about this. His name is Brandon Weichert. He wrote the book Winning Space, and he's a political analyst, defense analyst. I'm sure he is paid for by the military-industrial complex. In fact, I'm quite confident he is. But it's interesting to listen to his analysis, and he's written about this in his book, to Esper's space weaponization speech, which he played a show or two ago.
Yeah, and so basically what he's commenting on is what's been going on for the last 8 years, wherein first Russia really took the lead in launching what are known as co-orbital satellites. These are tiny satellites that are launched along with regular sort of communications or military satellites. And these tinier co-orbital satellites, what we nickname as space stalkers, the Russians refer to them as a Strivitel Sputnikov. They're basically in peacetime used to repair any damaged satellites for the Russians, but in wartime can be easily refashioned and can tailgate our sensitive satellites in orbit and knock them physically out of their orbits, thereby removing those American surveillance, communications, early warning missile systems from operation and rendering the Americans deaf, dumb, and blind, on land, at sea, in the air, in cyber.
So that got my attention when I heard this, and that he got into a little more detail about what they actually can do, Chinese and the Russians.
And the Chinese have also now been developing similar capabilities. Another thing that the Chinese have been very interested in building out are laser capabilities. Usually these are fired up from the ground in China and can temporarily blind the optical gear on sensitive satellites passing overhead passing over the Indo-Pacific. And this is all sort of a space Pearl Harbor attempt to knock the Americans out of any potential fight in, say, the Indo-Pacific or in Eastern Europe before the Americans can bring our superior forces to bear. Right now, our forces completely depend on the satellite architecture that's in orbit. And again, if you deprive those forces of access, they have no ability to really fight effectively. You have to remember, the Russian and Chinese militaries would be fighting closer to their home. They would have sort of home field advantage, and very technically speaking, they have larger numbers of forces than we do in any given arena, and so we'd have to basically mass quickly limited numbers of forces to be able to push back the Russians or Chinese, and the Russians are counting on removing the technological interlinks and depriving us of that ability to mass and fight effectively.
So it really is satellites bumping each other out and doing weird stuff, and apparently...
Hold on a second. I'm calling a show process violation. How is this second half of show stuff? There's no aliens involved. There's no interdimensional space stuff. There's no anything. This is like probably a very accurate description of what's going on.
Okay. Good. I'm glad you're on board. Here is his last clip, and the technology that the Russians and Chinese are using is apparently quite old. It goes back to the 60s and 70s. We've had it for a long time. It goes back to
bumper cars.
Yes, we've had it for a long time. And here's what he recommend we do.
It may be old technology that we're talking about, but this is technology that we haven't really built out. So we may have had the capabilities for these co-orbital satellites since the 50s and 60s, but we're not the ones exploiting that technology. It's the Chinese and the Russians who are. And so now we have to play catch up. And so what I advocate in the book, and what Space Force is talking about doing, and the French have really led the way in doing this and coming up with some of the theories for it, is to use our own co-orbital satellites, our own space stalkers, to form clusters of bodyguard satellites around America's vulnerable satellites, and to sort of have, sort of battle groups in space of unmanned systems that can defend existing American constellations, and then also threaten the constellations of those countries like Russia and China. Of course, the problem right now is it's an asymmetrical a threat, because China and Russia are not nearly as dependent on satellites in their existence as the Americans are, and they won't be as dependent on satellites for at least another decade. So from 2020 to 2030, you have this really bad situation where there's an asymmetrical threat against us, which is why in the book I argue for a more compellent space dominance doctrine on our part, rather than a deterrent-minded doctrine of space superiority. But the idea that space is a sanctuary, like Antarctica, is insane and dangerous, and will lead to an attack on us in space from either China or Russia.
Space Force! No, maybe he's not all that crazy, the orange man with the Space Force. The only thing I don't like about this guy is I think there's something else happening. I think we're definitely fighting against it, except we've just masked it under our own Iron Man, the kooky billionaire. I mean, the Elon Musk Starlink project? Yeah, that's for internet everywhere. Sure. Get real. That's part of Space Force. I've always been
suspicious of Elon Musk's internet everywhere.
Of course. He lives off the government. Subsidies for the cars, subsidies for the space, for his Starlink.
Subsidies for his solar panels.
Yes, everything. So, and Trump seems to like him. And he likes Trump. So there you go. Elon Musk has every reason to be against to be against Trump. The people that his investors, Sequoia Capital, Kleiner Perkins, huge Trump haters.
Oh, yeah.
No, Elon's like Honey Badger because he's in on it. That Starlink, that's bad news for China and Russia. I think it's really bad news.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We don't need the Chinese knocking our satellites out. It costs money.
No, we don't.
All right. Well, I don't know. I got nothing except
wait a minute. You got nothing? I
got one. I have nothing about whatever.
Space Force.
Space Force. No, I got no Space Force. I got no COVID. I got a thing on the. I got a very interesting three clip voter fraud.
Oh yes, that's good. Yes.
This is from Democracy Now. This is Amy Goofman.
On Capitol Hill, FBI Director Christopher Wray told the Senate Homeland Security Committee Thursday he has seen no evidence of the widespread voter fraud claimed by President Trump among mail-in ballots.
Okay. Now that's the setup.
Yeah.
Now that's a lie. That's a lie. This is a whipsaw. She puts this lie out there, which she'll do. And then when you listen to what this guy, Ray, who's just a troublemaker, it seems to me, actually said, he never said anything quite of the sort. In fact, he never denied that there was going to be that voter balloting.
Well, let's listen to the lie again, just to make. I want everyone to make sure you hear it. It's 13 seconds.
On Capitol Hill, FBI Director Christopher Wray told the Senate Homeland Security Committee Thursday he has seen no evidence of the widespread voter fraud claimed by President Trump among mail-in ballots.
Okay, all right. So we've heard it now. We've heard the setup for the whipsaw.
Let's go.
Not seen historically any kind of coordinated national voter fraud effort in a major election, whether it's by mail or otherwise.
Wow, that's truly the only thing he said about it?
And he uses the word coordinated.
historical.
Play his clip again and compare to what Amy said he said.
Holy crap. That's
not seen historical.
Yeah, why not just play them back to back? That's much better. Back to back. Everyone gets it. It's like a whole 23 seconds combined.
On Capitol Hill, FBI Director Christopher Wray told the Senate Homeland Security Committee Thursday he has seen no evidence of the widespread voter fraud claimed by President Trump among mail-in ballots.
Not seen historically any kind of coordinated national voter fraud effort in a major election, whether it's by mail or otherwise.
Historically even. Wow. What a jamoke.
I have not seen historically any coordinated, he talks about a coordinated scheme. That's not what she said he said.
No, that's not what she said he said. And that's why
she is a real douchebag, this woman. So let's play the third clip, which I think adds a little, I don't know what element this adds, but I did have a third part of it.
The FBI director's testimony came as a U.S. attorney and an FBI field office in Pennsylvania issued an unusual statement claiming they're investigating reports of tampering with 9 military ballots. The U.S. attorney says the ballots were improperly opened with votes cast for Donald Trump discarded by elections officials. The Trump campaign then seized on the announcement saying, quote, Democrats are trying to steal the election. Loyola Law School professor Justin Levitt questioned the timing of the announcement, telling NPR, quote, it is the vital duty of government not to announce partial facts and potential issues in pending investigations. Indeed, it's quite improper to announce the fact of an inquiry and grotesquely improper to announce whom the ballots were cast for, as if that mattered in the investigation.
Yes, that matters. Wow.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Not really unbelievable, sadly, but holy crap.
It's not, yeah, you're right.
That is crazy. Hey, let's...
Fact check false.
Yes, 3 hours on the nose. Let's thank some people. Let's get the donation pad open. Hello, everybody. Here we go.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh, yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda.
We're going long, people.
In the morning.
Sir Borislav Marinov tops the list from Trabuco Canyon, $127. Need some jobs. Karma puts you that at the end. Will Robertson in Los Palos, California, 101.79, and he's got a birthday coming up. And he wants to celebrate. Yeah, you're on the list, Will.
Yep.
Falcon Shah, $100.90.
Interesting numbers, these 79 cents and 90 cents. It's interesting.
I don't know. Yeah. Nick Schlossmacher. We know these numbers. 8008 in Mission, Kansas.
Boop.
And he said he had a great time at the meetup. And it was like a party, he mentioned.
No doubt.
He says, thanks to Matt Savage, Minnesota, for hitting me in the mouth, even though he's still a douchebag.
Oh, noes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Douchebag.
Oh, douchebag?
Douchebag. Austin Condurla in Bryan, Texas, 8008.
Also a
he
douchebag
has a douchebag call out for somebody. Long-time listener, long-time douchebag. He needs a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
He's been listening to shows since his sophomore. He doesn't live in Austin and looking for the douchebag call out.
I don't see it. I don't see the douche. Oh, call out for my friend Evan for being a douchebag. You know, we don't read notes necessarily under associate executive level. So,
Sir Kevin McLaughlin, the Duke of Luna, lover of America and boobs, 8008. Locust, North Carolina. Remember that clip we had of the guy just befuddled that poor woman on CNN because he says he likes boobs?
Oh, yeah. I have that clip. Here we go.
Clay, to you first, of all the different columnists or even magazines in the wake of Charlottesville specifically that have called out the president as racist, why do you think he really took this particular target on ESPN and Jamel?
Well, I think because ESPN's not in the business of commenting randomly on political related issues. If you look at their history, They established about 18 months ago that they don't believe their people should be involved in non-sports related completely. So those are the only boobs.
No,
I
believe
here
I'm still there too, and I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. BOOZE or B?
Bad decisions that have led to ratings collapsing. Jamel Hill's television show is collapsing. Ratings were down 20% last week.
Okay. Keith, what do you think?
Listen, I'm astonished at almost everything I just heard. For somebody to come on CNN and to say something like the only thing I believe in a discussion about something.
I'm still there too, and I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. BOOZE or BOOBS? Because as a woman, I'm
boobs. I believe completely in the First Amendment and in boobs. Those are the only two things I believe 100% in this country. And
now, this is a clip from, what's the date on that clip?
Oh, that is, hold on.
This is, again, it is a whole thing, CNN, and Trump is a racist.
September 17th, 2017.
Yeah, the racist. The Democrats must be scared to death that they're going to lose one black vote.
Well, I think they've lost quite a bit already.
Richard is next on the list. Richard KG5DDX 73s, and he donated 73. By the way, Green Eggs of Ham, we lost him. He's gone overboard.
Who knows?
Remember?
No.
He needs a de-douching, our friend Richard.
You've been de-douched.
April Bierig in Amboy, Minnesota, is 72. She sent a card, and this we should probably give her this at the end. Good day to you, both of you. Thanks. She always sends a nice, cute little card. Thanks for what you do for us. I could use some cancer karma for my friend Glossy, who I guess is one of her friends who's got cancer. So can we put an cancer karma at the end?
Of course.
Sir Alan Hawes in Windsor, Berkshire, UK, 7171. F the EU, he says. Baronet Loudpipes in Charlotte, North Carolina. Casey Garrett in Wilwachaka, 5555 in Florida. Michael Shambow in Topeka, Kansas, 5510. Sir Luke the Baron of London, 5510. Sir Rancelot, also 5510. And Sir Rancelot, I believe, sent the note in about...
his landlord needs some cancer karma.
No, well, maybe.
It says right here.
But I got a last-minute note he died.
Oh. Shit. Karma comes too late.
I think this is the same guy. He died, so...
Well, that's a bummer.
Not sure what to do.
Well, we have a cancer karma for April's friend, so... Yay!
There's a long back and forth on that one.
Oh, gosh.
Joshua Owens in Schenectady, New York, 5510. David Hutchinson, 53, and got his birthday for his wife. Eric Hokel is still with us in Mulrose, Deutschland, 52.
Hello, Deutschland.
The Hawk, or whatever
the Hoff. Say. Hello, Deutschland. Here's the Hoff.
The Sir Scott Nelson in Council Bluffs, Iowa. I believe he used to be in Florida, 5001. The following people are $50 donors, name and location, starting with Renee Tabak in Meppel. You know Renee?
Tabak? Renee has donated many times in Meppel. Meppel is the black stocking church area.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like like the Handmaid's Tale area.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pamela Sebern in San Antonio, Texas. Christopher Kessler in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Lauren Tweed in Magna, Utah. Aichi Kitagawa rounds it out. He's over there in San Francisco, California, and one of my favorite Japanese names. I want to thank all these folks for producing Show 1282.
Yes, and with that donation, I am reminded to tell you that the Japanese saying we were discussing on the previous show is, the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. That is the saying you were looking for. It's a callback. It's a callback to the show. Okay, thank you all very much. These are our producers. Of course, we have many more producers who can't support us financially, but do all kinds of other work, from art to clips to jingles to knowledge, time, talent, treasure. And we have people who are on our multiple subscription programs. Please consider doing that as a sustaining donation to your No Agenda show. After all, we all do it together. And thank you again for supporting the best podcast in the universe.
Dvorak.org/NA.
DH Deutschland, here is the Hoff.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
October 1st, let's get set with our birthday list. We've got Vinny Padula from Brooklyn saying happy birthday to his daughter Ileana. She turned 2 years old yesterday. Paul Gabrielson will be celebrating on the 3rd. Elizabeth O'Neill says happy birthday to her sizzling hot, hard-working man Jeff Barrett. He'll be 36 on the 4th. Will Robertson, 41 yesterday. And David Hutchinson says happy birthday to his wife Sonia, who turns 53-year-old today, and she still reads the newspaper without her glasses. Happy birthday, everybody, from the best podcast in the universe. No title changes, but we do have a couple of, no dames. We've got knights. Nice. So let's bring them on up with a blade. A blade. Hello?
Here's the big one.
Okay. We'll just mark that. Up on the podium, please, if you don't mind. I'd like the following. Robert Blankshane, Paul Gabrielson, and Tommy Horton. You gentlemen are now joining the illustrious round table of the No Agenda Knights and Dames, and I'm very proud to pronounce the Thee as Sir Cha-Chai, Knight of the Deo, Sir Slovelo of the Central Coast, and Sir Tommy Horton. For you, we've got Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys, and Chardonnay. We've got the Rosin for Davin and Puar Tea. We've got, sparkling cider and escorts, vodka and vanilla, Rubenesque Women and Rosé, ginger ale and gerbils, but also the mutton and mead. It's what you all want. It's what you all get when you're here at the round table. And go ahead and head over to noagendanation.com/rings. Give Eric the Shill all your info so we can get your handsome signet ring, the sealing wax, and your certificate on the way to you. And thank you for supporting and really supporting the best podcast in the universe, the No Agenda Show. It is highly appreciated.
No Agenda.
Yo, the meetups are everywhere. They are taking place everywhere. First, let's do we have a single meetup report for today. This is from the meetup in Monroe, Connecticut. Dame Jamie, Sir Mad Hatter. This was the debate party at Republic Kitchen and Bar.
This is Sir Mad Hatter reporting from Monroe's Republic Kitchen and Bar at the Connecticut 203 or CT 203 meetup crew, saying in the morning and passing it over to my better half, the illustrious Dame Jamie.
Hi. Apparently, we're making a message for our our something leaders.
Fearless leaders.
Our fearless leaders. This is Dame Jamie. I organized the event. We had an absolute freaking blast. I think some of the teleprompter.
That's an end of show ISO. I guess I should pull that out. We had an absolute freaking blast.
I think some of the teleprompter writing was interesting. Instead of the main event, it was the main, the state event. But here we go.
Hey, Chris Capel from Connecticut. Connecticut, worse than Lyme disease, we gave you Michael Bolton.
Hi, this is Bill Saturno checking in the morning. Love you guys.
What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon, Negro of the Northeast. Don't forget, just like John the Vinegar book, Black Fragility is coming. And in the spirit of Charlotte, don't lock me up, Kamalama Ding Dong.
This is Matt, the recovering millennial, and I'm too young to be OTG.
This is Sir Robert, the Knight of the Dragonfly Pond. And on the morning, we're having a great time.
In the morning!
Thanks, guys. Nice report. Sounds like they had a good crew there. Here's what's coming up for Saturday, the Minnesota Small Amygdalas meetup, 11 o'clock. The New York City No Agenda meetup at 4 o'clock, also on Saturday. Let me see who's organizing that. That is Daniel J. Franco. Ah, yes, know him. Charleston, South Carolina, 6-week-ish cycle at 4 o'clock. This is all Saturday. Washington County Peninsula Mo Facts and No Agenda meetup at 4 o'clock. The Kaiserlautern, Germany, Brewers and Stogies, 1 o'clock Central European time on Saturday at La Casa del Habanero, and Tim the Enchanter is your host. Then on Wednesday, the St. Pete Beach, Florida meetup, 11 a.m., remember. And the 9th, we have the Zurich Sanity, 6 o'clock Central European time meetup. That'll be at the Rivington and Sons Bar. Swiss Senna is hosting that. It usually gets a couple of people there. So make sure you check that out if you're in the Zurich area or if you're counting your crypto coins in Zug. And then brand new on the list is next Friday, the Southern Chilenoisian meetup. It's, of course, a repeat for them, and that'll be at 6 o'clock as well. NoAgendaMeetups.com is where you can find no agenda people just like you, except they're all going to be completely different, and there's no triggering. You can hang out, just have a nice drink, and laugh. I think it's always been that way for every single one. And if there's not one near you, please put one up yourself. Organize it. Go to NoAgendaMeetups.com.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be triggered or held to blame. You want to be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
Hey, did we have a red book entry about Shepard Smith?
No, it was just something that I casually said and you agreed with.
I thought you disagreed, actually, if I recall.
Why would I disagree? He obviously wasn't going to quit unless he had a job someplace else.
No. I said a while ago that he was going to CNBC, and you said that makes no sense they would do that. And I said, I remember quite distinctly.
Yes. No, what? I knew he was going to go somewhere, but CNBC made no sense to me because the CNBC is a stock market channel.
Yeah, but they put the Shark Tank on CNBC. By the way, I think it's coming in the Shark Tank time slot. That is going to be quite a nut to crack for Shep Smith, former Fox News host.
He's not going to be able to do it.
I don't think he can do better ratings than Shark Tank.
No, he can't. The Shark Tank's got a cult following, as a lot of people, and what's he going to do? Why is he on CNBC? It makes no sense. So if that's what happened and you said that, then you would get the check mark.
Yeah, but
so you win the show.
But we don't. I don't have a red book. I thought we put it in the red book. That's why I asked.
I don't. The red book is no. The red book is
what
is over.
No, I have a red book. I've kept stuff in the red book.
I'm glad somebody does, but I gave up.
What do you mean? What is the? Why? This is a staple of the show that you can buy red books on Amazon.
Years ago. Because I have all these red books here, and I can't read a word of them. You want me to go through one of them? Here's, I got one right here.
Okay, and then I'll read what I have. I have red book entries.
Okay, let me see what we got.
Okay, I have March 29th, dollar to gold standard of the oil glut destroys the petrodollar. I have no idea what that means.
I do. I know what it means.
Okay.
It means you were wrong.
June 7th. Kaepernick to play in the NFL. Well, I'll be right on that one. That's going to happen.
No, you won't.
June 18th. J.K. Rowling will repent. Nope, I don't think so. Then I have, this is you, JCD. No debarfs? No debate. Yes. Oh, no debates. Yeah. You lose. Lose.
But I'm not going
Chuck.
It said, did you read it again? There's an S.
Yes, there is an S. So
I'm still good if they cancel the rest of it.
Okay, I put a little notation. Trump will win, including popular vote. Was one of mine. Well, we don't know that, obviously. That's all I have. Okay, well, that's good. I have no problem maintaining the red book from here on out. I have no problem at all.
I just look over this stuff.
Did you see any of the Comey stuff?
Here's a red book entry.
Oh, God, yes.
July 19th, 2012. The press is stupid.
You win. Very good. Oh, shoot. What happened? Did this clip not take? Oh, that's too bad. Oh, that's lame. There was a big.
Well, I have one last.
Just let me tell you what broke. It was there was a huge roundup, 345 people for a big pill mill. So where they scam health, was it Medicare, I guess? They scam Medicare and they sell millions of pills, to people who are opioid addicts. And they arrested 345 people, including 20 health executives from health professional companies and a number of doctors. It's a huge deal, and it's all it's really big for the illegal opioid trade. And
dynamite. They should have arrested these people years ago.
Yeah, and not only will you not hear about it on the news, the clip doesn't even work on our show.
It's suppressed. That's what you call suppressed.
Yes, it's
at least
Russia.
You got it out before they shot you.
That's right. Okay, thanks. All right, good. I feel much better. All right, I do have one clip regarding the whole, because Comey's been testifying. We have
do that one last, because I want to get this out of the way. This is not as interesting.
Okay.
But it's interesting in some ways. This is the Alzheimer's spray. There's hope for Joe.
Doctors at Health Partners in the Twin Cities are growing increasingly optimistic about a new Alzheimer's treatment.
It's a nasal spray they say can greatly help with memory loss in patients taking part in a clinical trial. In Health Watch tonight, WCCO's John Lordson shows us the progress that has been made and how the spray helps the brain.
We go day by day, and there are some days that are more difficult than other days.
After 56 years of marriage, Mary Margaret Lehman is closer to her husband than she's ever been. Ken is living with Alzheimer's, but the couple is hopeful that an intranasal insulin spray may help.
It gives hope. It's a different strategy for treating Alzheimer's.
I love that. Whoever edited this, there's hope, and you hear the guy, oh, there's hope.
But the couple is hopeful that an intranasal insulin spray may help.
It gives hope. It's a different strategy for treating Alzheimer's disease.
Dr. Leah Hansen is part of a team of scientists at Health Partners Neuroscience Center that has been testing the effects of insulin on the brain. When someone has Alzheimer's disease, insulin is greatly reduced, leading to memory loss.
Not unlike a diabetic where you don't have enough insulin in the body, insulin allows the sugar to go into the cell, and that creates energy, and your cells need energy to do their job.
Health Partners doctors believe current Alzheimer's drugs can lose their effectiveness when they are digested or put in the bloodstream, so their solution is a direct shot through the nose and into cells that connect to the brain.
Within 15 minutes of one spray of insulin in the nose, they saw an improved ability to remember words and remember stories.
And apparently when you administer it, you start to uptalk?
Probably. The report goes on, but the rest of it was a native ad for the spraying
What's it
device.
called? What's it? Because it sounded like it was a...
They never said.
Really? Native? That's a shitty native
I'm telling you, the whole thing, it was real information to a point, and then they switched over to a native ad for the spraying device, which is some sort. It's not like the normal, spray where you squeeze it or you do anything. It's some special little thing called the something or other.
Bunch
and I just cut that out.
So, former FBI Director James Comey testifying before, I think it's Senate, because it's Lindsey Graham's outfit, and they're asking him about the Steele dossier, which was supposedly the evidence that got the FISA court warrant to spy on the Trump campaign. And Comey is taking a page out of the book of many a politician or person in trouble, and he just can't really recall.
Did Mr. Page deny knowing people that you accuse him of having contact with?
I don't remember. That's about all I recall. I don't remember. I don't remember learning anything additional about Steele's sources. Not that I recall, no. I don't remember Bruce or ever giving me. I don't recall that.
So do you recall?
I do not.
Do you recall?
I do not. I don't remember any discussion. I don't remember using that word, but I don't remember using that word. I don't remember ever being informed. I don't recall being informed of that.
Did you ask any questions or do any due diligence on this at all?
I don't remember anything about the facts that have been revealed recently about the subsource. I don't remember the exact words, but something similar.
That doesn't
ring bells with me.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty stunning thing. It didn't ring a bell.
Which I'm sure you remember.
I don't remember the exact words. I don't remember whether I knew the Democratic Party. I don't know for sure. I don't know. I don't think I knew before. I remember reading the footnote. I don't know whether I asked. I don't know what that refers to. As I said earlier, that does not ring any bells with me when I read that. I don't remember it. I don't remember receiving anything that's described in that letter.
You know, Mr. Comey, I call that selective memory.
Okay, Claire. So he didn't recall a lot, although I find it peculiar that some people will ask him if he recalls something. Why don't you just lead the witness? How about, did anyone say, do you remember? They're giving him the actual out. Do you recall?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's poor form. You're right.
Well, I don't know who was asking it, but it wouldn't surprise me if there were some softballers in the on the panel. There was one bit that I thought was very funny. This is Comey just lying, getting caught in it within 49 seconds.
Okay, when did you first learn of the existence of the Steele dossier?
Sometime towards the end of September of 2016.
Do you agree with Mr. Horowitz that the dossier was central and essential to the Carter Page FISA warrant application being approved?
I agree that it was important. I can't tell you whether it was essential, and by that I mean that it wouldn't have been granted without the Steele information.
Let's go through the application. There are two parts to the application. Was there an effort to get a warrant approved without using the dossier?
Yes, my understanding is in the summer they asked DOJ whether they would support moving forward on a warrant application.
And they said no, right?
Correct. That's my understanding from the Horowitz report.
Then you add the dossier, all of a sudden they say yes to the warrant application. Is that a fair statement?
I think it's fair to say that DOJ decided to move forward after the Steele information was part of it.
Does anyone hear this?
Wow. In fact, let's finish the show with this. That's the clip of the day.
Oh, well, you are just way too kind, sir.
Clip of the day.
Alrighty then. I'll play
Let's also mention, what a douchebag.
Yeah, an incredible douche. And there's a lot more douchery that we have for you on Sunday's show. Man, it's going to be fun. The hits do not stop. That's how good it is. I figured for end of show clips, since he did create a new version of it, Sir Chris Wilson, he's got an amygdala ABC. Actually, no, they're going to have to move it again one more day. It's just we have too much to play here. We've got Danny Luce, we've got Sir Dave in Dimension B, and we have Neil Jones. Those are end of show mixes with a Chris Wilson in the works. It's just 4 minutes. We love Chris. It's long. Coming to you from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier of Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State, FEMA region number 6 on all of the governmental maps in case you're looking it up for some monkey business. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where, yes, we still have fires a-burning. I'm John C. Dvorak.
Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA to support the show. And until Sunday, we say adios, mofos. And such. You think he's doing
I don't
bumps?
know. I'm just saying, I'm not making accusations at all.
Bumpy Joe. Blow Jiden also came in.
And there's probably 10 times he does it. And he goes in that way where you go and you kind of rub the nose or you grab it.
Blow Jiden. Blow Jiden. Cocaine.
Getting a paycheck. That's not right. Getting a paycheck. It's not everybody pays their fair share. Getting a paycheck. That's not right. Getting a paycheck. That's how everybody pays their fair share. One nation. For real. One nation. For real. Bernie Sanders punish anybody. Bernie Sanders, that's not the problem. Getting a paycheck, right? That's not right. Getting a paycheck. That's how everybody pays their fair share.
In all the history of respiratory borne viruses at any time, asymptomatic transmission has never been the driver of outbreaks. The driver of outbreaks is always a symptomatic person. Miles in the 90s. The numbers are quite clear. 666 severe side effects. We keep having 666. A little bit slow, but hey, that was the worst answer he's ever given for any question. Sick person. An epidemic is not driven by asymptomatic carriers. It's too bad we record these things, Tony. Yeah, we keep the website.
What kills more than coronavirus?
Alerted, so we sort of had to discover it on our own.
I can't breathe, and then he died.
So language is subtly masked.
Most child molesters love them.
Severe side effects. Team of scholars on staging gas cans. A little bit slow. Really now?
Tell the mouse mandate saying they are child molesters.
Flu is a season.
Via a vacuum plant.
Peak in the winter. Well, winter is coming. Is vaccine.
The best podcast in the universe. Mofo. Dvorak.org/NA.
Very fine people on both sides.
Turn down your goddamn radio! Please remember, when calling the Nick the Rat Show, turn down your goddamn radio. This message has been brought to you by the No Agenda Stream and producers like you. You are listening to NoAgendaStream.com, the best source of music, talk, and infotainment in the universe. NoAgendaStream.com. Up next, Hookers and Blow.
And hello, people of the internet. How's it going today? How you doing? I'm Billy Bones, and this is a walk through the mind. A moment we can sit down, hang out, chit-chat, discuss a handful of ideas that have been bouncing around inside my head, and see if we can't go out and create some talking points of our own. See if we can't get those gears turning in our head. See if we can't evolve our thoughts on the day or the week. So last week, thereabouts, came across a picture based off of, I guess it falls under a meme, satirical cartoon, derivative cartoon works of someone named Richard Scarry. Now, the original content of Richard Scarry was children's books or cartoons or something of the like. But you would see a full city day or a full involved picture, a zoomed out picture of just everything that's going on. And it would list next to the characters, firefighter, fire engine, letter carrier, police officer, car, farmers. Just, I've got links to example picture and the link to the one I'm going to discuss. But just, it's a learning exercise for children. The Richard Scarry busy day busy town. I already forgot. But the satirical one, and not so much satirical, someone using their artistic talent to raise awareness, something that somehow we don't have enough of nowadays. But this one is titled Richard Scarry's Busy, Busy Day in Trump's America. And when you sit there and you look at it, you can think that some of it is overblown. You can see some of it might be misconstrued. Or you can look at this and see that everything is exactly true. And as I sat here and I first came across this, I thought it was rather ingenious on how they did it. Again, you don't have to agree with everything on there. They've got Black Lives Matter protester, no, they don't protester, actual Nazi, slave labor prisoner, pepper server, unmarked van, underwater mortgage holder, climate change denier, essential health worker, anti-masker, corpse stacker, flu-like symptom patient, and a handful of others. And it's really kind of shows you and says, hey, all of this is going on in Trump's America. And as a matter of fact, yes, that is absolutely true. It's also going on in your America and my America. It's not just Donald Trump's America. This is our country. We all play a part. We all chip in. But we also have to sit here and question, is this only going to happen under Trump's America? Would it only happen? And I would argue no. I would argue that if Hillary were president or Larry Johnson were president, same exact things would be happening. Would they be blown out of proportion in the same scale? And blown out of proportion doesn't have to be a negative connotation. It could be positive connotation, and that we need this awareness. We need to understand what's going on. But if it weren't for President Trump, and if you sit there and just reflectively, you can still disagree with the president, but if you take a minute and sit back and look at the negative feedback you get from some of your news sources on the president, can you actively see the negative repercussions or the negative influence that they might have? And maybe there is a sense for worry. Is there a sense of worry for all of this? Because as you look at this Richard Scarry meme, artist's rendition, this covers a national level of things. Where is your local level of things? Now, some of these things here definitely reflect my greater locale, but not necessarily directly where I live or work. What about for you? Are you in the middle of downtown Portland or Seattle or New York? Or are you in somewhere a little bit more rural or somewhere a little bit more apt to playing by the rules of just being civil? Social media and TV make the globe come to your doorstep, come to your phone, into your hand, and you can see what's happening across the world in seconds. Now, on a certain level, we need that communication. We need to all chime in and talk with each other. But at the same time, we also have to remember that those people over there that we may only know online, they have their own direct problems, and they may share them with us, but there is a level of responsibility within each one's community to rise up and make their statements heard, vote, endorse the people that they believe will best represent their views. And if those people aren't going to stand up, individuals need to stand up, people who feel that calling. But as we look at, again, this social media, this hyper addictive program that keeps pulling us in, and be aware I may be the pot calling the kettle black on this, because I keep going back. Don't go to Facebook, but got Twitter. But Facebook, with its 4 billion users, all different ages, and that covers Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, using their algorithms to influence you one way or the other. You seem to like these t-shirts. Show you more of those t-shirts. You like puppy dogs, we'll show you more puppy dogs. You like violence, we'll show you more violence. You don't like Trump, we'll keep showing you stuff that you don't like Trump. You don't like this other politician, we'll keep showing you stuff to get you engaged, keep you on the platform longer. And the social media keeps our dopamine going, keeps us flowing, gives us those dopamine hits to keep us engaged, pull us in, keep us active. We see something that riles us up, we'll keep typing away 140 characters at a time. We think we're out there actually making a difference, and maybe to a point we are by advancing the conversation. Or maybe we're just triggering someone to reinstate their beliefs because we're not willing to bend or break on either end of the equation. In doing my little bit of research for this show, I came across a Facebook business article where they talk about how influential Gen Zers will be to the marketplace, looking at $143 billion in influence on spending in the U.S. alone. These individuals who see themselves as part of a greater group, and to a point, fantastic. It's great. The world is smaller. Everything is right there in the palm of your hand. But yet we, again, forget to turn off that phone, take a minute and look up and see what there is around us. See the direct influence of businesses and people. I know around here with this lockdown, there's a lot of people out and about and moving around. But I also know that there's a lot of people that are shut into their house, refuse to go anywhere. We've seen those people online. I can tell you for certain I've seen those people in person who want you to stay 6 feet away, who give you that look when you're not wearing a mask, or you're outside in the middle of nowhere, near no one, and they still scowl at you. And that's not how we should be. We can all be adults, respect each other's decisions. We can be adults and have conversations. But again, with this hyper-polarized, everything is zoomed in. Everything's happening now. Now. Something new is happening now. Oh, now something else is happening. We forget to look back where we were 30 minutes ago, 30 days ago, 6 months ago. When we look at the news, there's plenty of times where I sit there and I question whatever happened to that news story because it just seems to have fallen off. And maybe there hasn't been any new developments, but maybe there has and it doesn't fit anyone's narrative. And so no one goes back to look, to verify, to prove, to proofread, to double check and see if their original outline of ideas still hold true. This cycle of 24-hour news, this cycle of 30-second updates, beeps and tones to remind you to look at your phone, to tune in, see what's latest and greatest and happening. And maybe it is just your friend got a new t-shirt, they got a new puppy, they painted their house, they did an art project, and it's worth seeing and sharing. But when we look at political matters on a national basis, on a global basis, and even on a local basis, city or countywide, we need to take into account that it's not just us and it's not just our small tribe of friends and family we choose to associate with on the social media at the digital town square, because you can fit a lot more people in a digital town square than you can in an actual one. And so when voices are heard, changes are made, but we also can't be making decisions and choices as a digital town hall for something that should be specifically more local, that more aptly reflects the individuals within that community. We can't sit there and take Facebook's rules with as good of intentions as they may have and apply them to, again, society's rules. There's two different levels. Social media has its walled garden effect, its choices on how they want to perform and engage with their audience and the kind of people they wish to associate with. And while not everybody is super nice out in the real world, those people, everybody in the real world gets their same chance to associate, at least here in the United States for now, until we start implementing Facebook-style rules within our own state and local constitutions. mitigating who you can hang out with, what you can say, who you can say it to. Not here to live in a mafioso style, even if that's the correct word, I'm not sure. But we're all free, right? We all have the best ideas, the best intentions at heart. But if we sit here and collect ourselves to algorithms will rule us and further divide us into market shares, where we will be most influenced to spend the most money or earn an advertising company money. So when we say we can sit here and acknowledge that we're addicted to social media, can you step away? Can you unplug? Can you put your phone down for 2 hours? Turn it off, put it in a drawer? Now maybe you have a situation where you have a job where you need to be able to answer emails or have that phone call. Can you go a full day without checking Facebook? And then when you do break down and check Facebook, can you set a timer and keep it only at 10 minutes? Is there a better way to interact? I'm a member of Mastodon, another social media that does not use algorithms. It's kind of like Twitter 2.0. No advertising, it's self-sufficient. There's a producer from the No Agenda show that maintains that. Then it's a means to communicate, not have direct influence, or the computer does not have direct influence over what I see. I can see people I follow. I can see people on the home server that chip in. Or I can see people that are a part of the Mastodon universe all across wherever. And as long as they haven't blocked our server, we can see their server. And when you start looking at the feed as it goes by, how it just zips on through, it's more exciting than Twitter, because Twitter will only show you a handful of people. I follow a couple hundred people, and yet I only seem to see maybe 10 or 15 different people. And I have to start doing active searches and scroll throughs to find competing ideas. Yet with Mastodon, it's all straightforward. It's all right there out in the open. You can sit there and go and dig. And it's not as big as Twitter is yet. We can want something bigger and better, but those algorithms know how to keep you engaged. And while Mastodon may not have those algorithms, there's something special about it. Maybe I'll throw a Mastodon invite link in there for you into the show notes, if you so choose to tag along and have that conversation. See if we can expand our conversation, get rid of some of these algorithms. We can get our chance to step outside and realize that we have a community directly around us that we need to go out and talk with, communicate with, hang out with, share ideas. We don't have to get along 100% of the time, but we have to know that people are out there living their lives as well, just as you and I are. We have our own beliefs, and they have their own beliefs. Best ways to engage and continue on within the world. But with that, I'm Billy Bones, BILLYBON, the number 3S. You find me on Twitter at Billy Bones. You can go to the website as well, billybones.com. That's Billy Bones, and instead of the E, you type in the number 3. And that takes you to the website where there's links to the past episodes, there's show notes, there's contact page. You get there, show up in Discord, let me know what's going on. You write me an email, billybones@mail.com, not Gmail. Again, spelt the same way. And this is a Value for Value podcast. If you found value out of this episode or any of the previous episodes, fantastic. I'm glad you did. I first ask that you give the show a share. Maybe someone else will get some talking points, some ideas within their day. Or if you found monetary value out of this, fantastic. Again, you go to the website, billybones.com, you scroll all the way down, and you click the value for value button. And chip in whatever you feel the show is worth. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week.
Listening to NoAgendaStream.com. All talk, no commercials, no agenda.
Section 5. Asking for help.
Sección 5. Conseguir ayuda.
Can you give us directions to Las Ventas?
¿Puede darnos direcciones a las ventas?
How can we buy 2 tickets to the bullfight?
¿Cómo podemos comprar 2 boletos a la corrida?
Sir, will you help my friend? He has fallen into the bull ring.
Señor, ¿puede ayudar a mi amigo? Él ha caído en la plaza de toros.
Somebody call a doctor. My friend has been gored.
Alguien llama a un doctor. Han corneado a mi amigo.
You there, in the turquoise hat. Help me carry my dying friend.
Usted en el sombrero turquesa, ayúdame a llevar a mi amigo, que está muriendo.
He's dead. Oh God, he's dead. Why the hell did we come to Spain?
¡Está muerto! ¡Dios mío! ¡Está muerto! ¿Por qué vinimos a España?
Podcast, information, and entertainment. You're listening to the No Agenda Stream.
I'm Chris Walrus.
You're listening to the only podcast in the universe where clothing is optional, but pot is not. Broadcasting from FEMA Region 7, it's Bowl After Bowl with your hosts, Lorian and